everyone, welcome back to another episode of Together We Roll, where a bunch of children try to act like they're adults at a table. Yes. So we are on the 4th episode, part 1 of Together We Roll. But however, before we get to the before we get to the episode and start playing, we have a couple announcements today, which is a little different.
We do. we have an announcement here. Actually, so our Together We Roll turnstile there, the Lazy Susan, is actually a vintage barrelhead, and it's been custom engraved by our friends over at Sawdust Woodcrafting. And so if you go out to our Facebook page, you'll find a video on it actually being carved. It's really, really cool. Check it out. You can look it up at...
Completely professional, 100%, 4K, not completely done by my phone.
Oh, yeah.
Look up on Facebook at Together We Roll. Now, also, Sawdust Woodcrafting makes these amazing wood game accessories, including these dice trays, just like this. As you might see, all of us have been using. And this one's kind of cool here because it comes with a nice staging area for your dice, big old rolling area for your rolls. This is natural. You can actually get this in up to 22 different stains of wood. And also, you can get felt linings of 7 different colors, like black, brown, yellow, red, green, blue, white.
Very nice work.
Yeah, they do white even.
I like white.
And now here's what's really cool as well. So we got these two little things for traveling gamers, right? You got these little dice caddies here. This is for like the special dice. And it comes with a nice little magnetic closure and your own felt color that you can choose in here. This one's brown. Yeah. And what's really slick about these is that these have come with actual 3D Together We Roll medallion stuck inside the plate here. And this actually is so precision cut, it actually closes right up with no closures. This is my favorite part right here, though, for my precious dice. It's my dice vault.
Yeah, the dice that if you see anyone that touches, automatically lose a finger.
It looks like a honeycomb.
It does,
doesn't it? Yeah, and I chose green as the felt for this one. And I think this because I'm playing Eck, right? So, but this stain is...
for now.
See, nice magnetic closure. It comes with an integrated dice rolling tray, a little tiny dice rolling tray. And so they're doing dice towers as well. So they've got all kinds of great stuff. Check them out. They're a great supporter of our show, and we really appreciate them. Great friends. SawdustWoodcrafting.com. To make it easy, you can actually go to the description section of any of our videos and find their link.
All right. Thank you, David. And I think that's it for now, but it's still very exciting that we have something like that on the 4th episode.
Yeah.
Actually, technically we had this on the other episode, but we weren't official until it was completely complete.
Yeah.
But without further ado, is there anything else I'm missing? No, just time for the next episode.
I believe so.
So if I remember correctly, a little bit of recap before we begin. A bunch of mishmash of different people that wanted to go see the world and have an adventure, or were in the wrong place at the wrong time for this situation, found each other at the Nooksville Tavern, which you were raided by orcs shortly after a very pleasant pie party. Losing one friendly dwarf and one of the family members of the establishment of the tavern, you decided to go hunt down these horrific orcs of children-killing morons. So you charged into the internal monsoon, this endless rain season that a storm god has left behind before the great exodus of this world. Finding out that is actually quite deadly inside, and there's a reason why not many people go inside it. As lightning strikes, not striking you, but deafening your ears with each roaring strike, getting closer and closer as he moves forward, getting actually attacked by the spirits of the storm itself, at the same time finding the inhabitants a little bit more vicious than the ones outside, as you lost Davros for a few seconds and nearly talked him to death before shoving a potion of Revivify. Your brother's new adventurer, Eck, turtle your brother's life savings into this guy's mouth.
Yep.
Shortly after, you fought these outband of orcs that seemed to do some sort of ritualistic training cycle of some sort, or as far as you can tell, before the two leaders of that small postcard had you come over, and with only one translator, not much transpired before a fight broke out, and a nasty one too, as this ogre-sized orc had a chain and a 3-foot diameter boulder swinging around, causing all sorts of mayhem, as this heavily armored, reinforced fur skin orc also tore up with his pet direwolf. And eventually you slew these two leaders. But before everyone was able to gather their wits, the orcs on the sideline seemed to be having a dispute with each other as they were provoked, and another battle came shortly after, which was a lot easier than the teachers. But they did summon a bunch of spirit storms, which are nasty by themselves, even though they're easy to kill. At the end of the battle, the frozen lightning seemed to let up after what seemed to be the orc boss of this tribe of raiders called you out and beckoned you to come to the peak of this summit. And told you not to wait, but you guys decided after your scuff with the orcs, it was time for a break. And that's where we left off, as you guys are licking your wounds, thinking that you're alive, for some of you, and experiencing new emotions. You made camp using the boulder, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 3-foot diameter boulder, the furs that you got from that one orc, and also pitching it up with a warforge.
And using the cloaks and the other cloak and all that other stuff.
Ah, okay.
And his shield.
In the midst of that long rest,
Yeah.
let's change.
Who needs to buy a tent?
Yeah. We do.
Who needs to buy a tent when you can MacGyver one?
Oh, we need a tent
Thanks.
that's, that goes off of him and down. It goes over his head. Like,
That's success. Still.
So is it nighttime or daytime?
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about the
It's
rain.
kind of hard to tell.
Kind of hard to tell.
That's
yeah,
right.
whether it's nighttime or
Is it
daytime.
coming through? Because hopefully
It's halfway through
It
the night,
was.
like, I'm a person.
It was earlier, and then it stopped.
No, I'm trying to.
I like the first time where he was doing that.
Well, and I was like underneath looking the other way.
Wait, sorry, that application?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it started up with rain, and then I heard thunder, and then it died.
Yeah, no, there's a glitch on the system.
Oh, well.
Don't get me wrong, they're awesome.
We'll pretend.
Systems, but apparently they're.
There's always imagination.
What's that?
So as we're setting up, as we're setting up for camp and curing our wounds, there it is.
Oh, little
There
loud.
we go.
Yep.
So,
Did it pick up again? No, did the rain pick up again? Because it died
again,
off.
after the lightning, the frozen lightning at the top of the mound of jagged black charred rocks went back up in the sky. The rain just continued to pour down, and it's a torrential downpour. You can see the mound at the very base of it, but you can't really see the top of it. That goes up several hundred feet, as far as you could tell when you first saw it. It wasn't a mountain, but it was definitely a hill-size mound of some sort. But then you pitched the tent using a automaton that was not able to accumulate exhaustion points, which is a very handy skill. And you're trying to take a long rest in the cramps. It is still rather cramped for what you have, but it'll make do. So who's taking the first watch?
But before we do that,
Oh,
I do a cantrip to ice that lasts an hour. So we have an hour of no water coming in to the area in which, from the sides,
all right.
for 2 5x5
Yeah, control
squares.
water. So
Shape water. Shape water?
shape water. Sorry about that.
So
Control
at least for
water
the
is a
first
little
hour,
hard.
we're dry.
I'm standing out in the rain
how-
right now,
what-
just glaring into you guys, looking past into sunny.
I wave.
Why are you here?
To keep my brothers safe. And to avenge children.
You seem to do nothing about keeping your brother safe, or any of us here. So why are you here? You have no concern for any of our lives.
I did a great deal of damage in that battle. I'm not quite sure what you mean.
You, through your actions, nearly got Davros killed.
He nearly got killed walking next to water. And he's a sea elf. Everything out here is nearly going to kill us. The best thing to do is not leave our flank and not leave orcs.
And the last thing we need is someone like you running around making sure that the rest of us all get killed too.
Okay.
I'm confused. You want the orcs to be alive again?
I want us to remain alive.
We are.
We are.
Did anyone see what I had to do to keep Sparks from stopping working, and from Davros from being washed away in the rivers dead?
Yes, and she had to chase after orcs to make them do it. He had to kill them, and he smashed people, and I blasted them and kept darkness so that people could go behind it and hide. We all did our thing. He kicked butt until, he stopped working a little bit. It's what we do. We're adventurers. No risk, no reward. But the bottom line is there's a bunch of bullies out
What
here.
risk have you taken? There's not a scratch on you.
Oh, well, that's because I'm good at what I do.
Your brother is going to get you killed.
He hasn't yet, so I don't see why he would.
Oh, yes. So you're invincible to sword strikes because you haven't been hit yet.
Oh, I've been hit. You want to see scars?
I storm off into the rain.
Do not go too far.
Is that
Huh?
It is dangerous to be out on your own.
Did I say something bad?
No. Some people just don't understand what adventure
One of the
is.
sides collapses as you were being one of the sides of the tent. As the rest of you have to kind of keep it up so and try to make sure the rain doesn't pour in on top of you. You're soaked again, and it doesn't take long before the vision of the Sparks' head just popping out of this makeshift tent
Small
is
little light
starting
in
to
the distance.
diminish as the rain particles are just blotting out vision.
I'm gonna be very
I'm not,
intent to
I'm,
try to
not,
keep it
I'm,
out.
not, I'm not going out of sight, but
Well, yeah, I know. It doesn't take long before sight starts to diminish up. It may be 15 to 20 feet.
15, 20 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
As the side
But he's still staying within sight,
put my
correct?
staff to hold it up.
Well, as far as I can see.
Your character is still staying within
Your
sight?
staff?
well,
Okay,
I don't.
that.
I don't walk and just disappear into the storm.
Remember?
It helps, but it's not a substitute to.
No, but it should help a little.
It's a little something.
Yeah, it's a little something.
Better than a kick in the butt.
Yes.
I'm gonna go after him.
He is not going out of sight.
Yeah, but
I can still see him.
I think he was just a little upset because of the second attack from the orcs, because of a error in judgment, perhaps?
No, it wasn't an error. It was a calculation. They were weaker than the first bunch. If we had left them there and we decided to rest or go up the hill, where would they have been if we were going up the hill? They'd have been behind us. That would have been bad.
True, but we were hurt.
well, we don't need emotions to necessarily stay high. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go off after him.
You charge into the rain, and immediately your ears are just assailed by the sound of rolling thunder and rain, and waterlogged as you just march out there. As the water is starting to seep back up, as for what time the rain was subsided for a moment, the torrential downpour has just already filled it back up. Yeah, no, it's not even that. It's splish, splosh, splish, splosh.
There's not much
Just
mud left.
ankle-high water.
Because it's all down the rock at this
Yes.
point.
I turn around and I see her.
Come back to our little camp? Can we call it a camp?
Kind of, I guess.
Come back to the tent.
Sunny is an excrement orifice.
Well, are you gonna go off and do things on your own?
No.
Then you're gonna
But
have
I
to
will
play
not,
nice.
I won't find myself next to that one and die because of his stupid ways.
Then
What does Davros have to say about this? He's the one that nearly died. What does Sparks have to say about this? None of them have said a word about it.
nobody had to come on this trip necessarily. We're all here because we all want to save these people.
And just as you and I, the same, but Sonny doesn't seem to care whether or not we fall at his behest.
He's helping in the fights too. Yeah, he can be dumb. But all of us make mistakes. All of us make dumb choices. All of us are just trying our best. Standing out in the rain all by yourself isn't gonna fix much unless it's gonna help you calm down. As long as you're okay.
It's not that I'm... You see, far too many things have happened at the will of others to me and my brother and my kin. And all I see is him, not caring about anyone else except himself. And he says his brother. But if it wasn't for others caring for others, you, nor me, or them would even be here, and he doesn't get that.
Well, as long as he's here, he's at least good with hitting orcs. He helped keep people off of you while you were helping with Sparks and Davros.
Well, I'm clearly braver than him. He came to talk to me, and he didn't.
Eh. If you want to stand out here by yourself, then like I'll go back to the tent. It's fucking wet out here. It's miserable out.
I hadn't noticed. Although, I get that a lot. I've got a shell. I'll walk back with her.
Well, I got roomy in here all of a sudden.
Less so because there's less room.
Oh,
After a few moments,
see.
your turtle friend, very rugged in his shell-like form. It's not like a traditional turtle, like a turtle shell, as the body would not really fit properly, but it's definitely a turtle-based like shell. You remake the wall so that it fully tents up completely with the three corners now. You make yourselves inside and you start to... Sitting down, it's hip-sized when the water is not being controlled at this point. With the thunderous lightning strikes every now and again, keeping you wary of your surroundings. Marks, go and make a perception check as everyone's kind of just settling down.
At normal or disadvantage? Because of the rain.
At disadvantage because of the weather. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish I didn't do disadvantage now. 'Cause,
That is entirely your fault.
Oh, plus 0.
yeah, because that'd be a 6 instead of a 15.
Ouch.
He sees nothing.
Zip.
Is
zero.
there any way I can be like looking out between his legs again, out the other
This is why I help
direction?
everyone else, not do it
You want to
myself.
stay up? Yeah.
You'd only be able to for one watch.
Well, that's why we have two people, because I can always stand watch, and I'm just not very good at it. So I can only help.
Sparks,
other people.
it's fucking loud. There's a lot of lightning strikes. Well, here we go.
I can
You
do.
see the rain at least.
Yes,
I can do 2 watches.
There's a lot of
instead
lightning strikes.
I don't need any help.
Just
with
as
that.
long as one of them doesn't hit him, since he's made out of metal.
I'm not made out of metal. I am
can-
wearing metal.
Actually, CBC brings that up. It's strange that no lightning strikes. Even though you're the tallest standing thing in where it was striking, none of them have hit you.
You are
With
wearing
disadvantage?
metal.
Is it
You are...
disadvantage?
If you want to come out as you pop your legs out between, well, he's going to take a. He's big enough. I would say that you'll be able to
I'm
take a
standing
look.
up.
Definitely at disadvantage unless you
Cut your arms
go
out.
out completely.
I'd like to stay in the tent and just kind of look out past him the other direction.
Okay, almost like a baby owl in a
A little bit, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Baby owl.
Definitely a disadvantage because you're looking at only at specific
yeah.
areas and not the full area of yours, but it's a disadvantage anyway. Okay. There's a lot of rain. You notice a few lightning stars in the distance. One of them pretty close, maybe 200 feet.
I can
As
take.
the water just instantly evaporates as soon as it hits.
I can take a couple watches as well because I can do 2 watches instead of 1.
Yes, because you're.
I will assist you.
Sorry, you're elven.
Dice number 1 in the
I
dice
will
scale.
assist you because I am always watching.
So no disadvantage if he's always watching for the next 2 watches. I can just roll flat then.
Yes, you are always watching. However, you do not move. Keep that in mind.
That's fine.
Okay.
I do not need to move to
then
watch.
do you want me to have disadvantage?
You still have disadvantage because of the rain.
Gotcha.
I don't think I want to
It's
move
just
this,
it's the
considering
area.
structure.
So
you
good.
can't
I
move,
rolled a
you can't
5
move.
penalty.
Oh.
So my first watch is 12
Okay.
because my modifier is not bad.
We are
And
clueless.
then the second watch,
No, if this region is just hard to keep your track of the surroundings.
See, this is
the
what
second watch is
happens.
going to be 11.
11.
I literally, the first one was a 19 and a 5, the next one was a 17 and a 4.
Ugh.
So if they weren't a disadvantage, it would have been
So-
so good.
So you're second and third watch at this point.
Yeah. So there's still one more.
But
But
as
I
that
can
watch
take
is
one.
going around, as you're watching, keep an eye in the distance. Thankful that this rhythmic drumming sound is no longer adding to the suspense of the situation, but this silence to the roaring rain pouring down onto you, with the loudest noise being the thunder, lightning strikes, and sparks being pelted by heavy, almost like bead-sized water droplets.
Sounds like
Davros,
like
as you're looking out into the darkness, your sixth sense immediately picks up.
Me?
Yes, the sixth sense of something looming over you.
That's a great sense.
It's not sparks.
As you begin to hear, ever so faintly, buzzing noises.
I
Of
don't like
1,
that.
2, 3, 5. A low roar of hundreds of buzzing sounds. Aimless, and with your perception, you don't know where it's coming from. As you perceive into the darkness with this, I'm assuming you're staying in the tent.
But I'm looking out.
Yeah, but there's only like X amount of areas you
Yeah.
can look out because you're trying to keep yourself as sheltered as much as possible. So it's a little harder to see out because one, there's people in the way.
Since when are you afraid? Oh, that's when you're afraid.
That's why he's afraid of water.
I retract my joke.
I'm gonna get out of the tent and start looking around.
Okay, you get up, make another perception check at disadvantage still because of the rain.
I'm going to help you because I assume I see you.
Well,
He's
I mean,
looking
you
around.
see Davros get up and start moving about, Sparks.
I'm watching him basically.
So do I have the disadvantage?
Yeah, at disadvantage because you didn't talk to them.
Then
also
it
can't
was
move the top.
23.
23, even at
disadvantage?
disadvantage?
Yeah, that's why I went, ooh.
Wait, no, I'm doing the math wrong. No, because that one was my second roll.
Oh.
The first one was the lower roll. Wait, so no, it's 18.
Ah, well,
Still
still
did
pretty good
pretty good.
actually, comparatively, especially to the 5 and 11.
And a nat 1.
Take a look into the darkness, peering and waiting for each lightning strikes to give you every little bit more distance with the assistance of the light, but also at the same time it blinds you with the amount of droplets that are in the air that are just filled with light. It's very difficult with the lightning strikes as well, but it's a little better than the constant darkness. And actually, no, you're a dark.
I have dark vision.
You have dark vision. Never mind, I retract that. It's actually better for it to be dark because it doesn't blind you at the same time. As you look into the darkness, waiting for any other sound besides the heavy droplets and the clickety clack of the loud, kind of like, you know those tin roofs that are being pelted by heavy water? That's the sound that he's making.
It's like 5 hoses on the same
We
place.
have a shield up too, so it's like.
Oh, and that's even worse.
Yeah.
There you go. So it's very distracting compared to everything.
It's at an angle so it like doesn't just pool on
It's like a
top.
shingle.
It's pouring.
Oh, you have
It's
to
a
pull
shingle.
it. It's already making a mini waterfall out of
It's a giant shingle.
how much it's
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
I'll
take.
bet.
white
But
noise.
as you take in the surroundings, as you're drowning out that noise to the best as you can, it's still pretty irritating. Looking into the darkness, looking into the mountain, looking past the mountain, you see not really a shape, but like a streak of black. As you stop and watch, you see another one. That same buzzing sound.
I try to point it out to Sparks at throw screen. Do you see that?
I drop.
Make a perception check at disadvantage.
Can I just help him?
Well, he's helping you, so because he is
So
saying
normal.
in a direction.
I am trying to specifically point it out.
But okay, so you don't have dark vision,
No.
so that's already disadvantage.
It's
And then
raining.
you have advantage because he's helping you, so
Normal.
that normal out, and then you have disadvantage because of the weather. So it's disadvantage.
No one knows what's going on
wasn't
here.
a thing.
No, no, alright.
This is a perception.
It's a feat itself that these orcs have been living here.
But I have 4 eyes. I have 4 eyes. Doesn't that give me double?
You can definitely think that. Roll at disadvantage.
Maybe each eye only works half as good.
There you
Both
go.
pretty shitty. I mean, you know,
I was thinking there was 4 squinty eyes.
It's dark.
it's dark, it's rainy, I don't see a damn thing.
At this
Sorry.
point, it's probably best that we don't
It's
know what's
cold.
coming.
Do I even hear it?
Right now, all you can hear is just the sound of water hitting you. You can barely hear him right now.
I don't like
No,
this.
it's,
I'm sorry, Davros, I do not hear it.
it's okay, my friend.
Is that
Just
it?
another thing trying to kill us.
What isn't?
I'll wake Barian for the final watch.
Yay! I'll stand watch with him.
Okay.
And I'm just leaving it.
As yes, you would have at this point get all you need.
Just-
Roll at, you have dark vision, at straight up.
I'd like to assist him.
Yeah, that's
I'll
what
step outside,
That's still straight up.
and I can see 120 feet too, by the way, in the dark.
So you're giving advantage in a disadvantaged area. That's straight up.
There you go. That'll do it.
All right, 16.
I just kind of bottle.
16, not bad. Looking around between the thunderous lightning strikes,
And I'm inclined, so he's looking behind me while I'm turning around outside.
I love it. Looking around as you're just watching, kind of mimicking the automaton and his movements, very rigid. You see a little flicker of a movement
I look.
as Flan turns ever so slightly to the right, as your head turns to the right as well.
So,
You see a dark figure. It's off in the distance as the lightning strikes. You see a little bit of the flash of green, and you can tell it's some sort of orcish humanoid figure based off of the gray tones. But you see 2, 3, 4, 5, and they seem to be moving. That's as best you can get from there.
can I look? Since he pointed.
Well, that was with you assisting.
Should we with the others?
Think so?
They seem to be 200 feet from you.
Are they coming our way specifically, or just wandering?
Make another perception check, just straight up.
Nope. I'm too busy waking up people.
Okay, yeah. You see movement, and that's it. It's hard to tell if they're coming towards you or moving away, especially with the rain moving in front of you.
Yeah. Guys,
Derek immediately wakes up, and the first thing he grabs is the dagger out of his chute and
Cuts a little
You're
bit.
in close quarters, sir.
As a little bit of as a bunch of water pours into the new hole that you just created.
God damn it.
guys,
My cloak's in there.
Well,
I am-
that woke everyone
I'm
up.
sorry, force of habit.
guys.
Habit.
I point at what's happening out in the distance.
That does not look so good.
It doesn't look like. I don't know if they're coming straight at us or not.
Is it toward the? Are they pointing toward the hill? Or
If
what?
you're looking at the hill right now, let's say I'm the hill. It's a little bit to this direction.
To the side of the hill.
Yeah, it's a little bit to the side of the hill.
I point directly at
Down.
Maybe
East of the
200 feet.
How many hours have we been resting?
Right now, because you've been, I would say this is a second to the last watch.
No, this is the last one.
That's the last
Yeah.
watch. That's why we
Yeah, her.
2 from me, and then
You
Sorry, I forgot to
need
do
that
two.
long
I did
rest.
too.
So this is the last one.
You need that long rest.
But as you guys watch this pack of what you can guess orcs, those that have not done perception checks, go and roll at disadvantage individually. Those that have not rolled
One,
perception
two.
checks yet.
Okay, so you're good.
Perception checks for specifically the orcs, or
For the people.
oh,
Okay.
Ah. Well,
Disadvantage, right?
I didn't even look outside the tent.
You need your 8 hours of beauty sleep, okay?
Did those
You,
that,
you get cranky when you don't get that sleep.
did those that didn't take watch get the rest?
Well, technically, yeah. So technically, you still need 8 hours. It's still 8 hours of sitting and taking a long rest. You need 6 hours of sleep for most people, and then 2 of those hours you just have to be sitting down.
or for elves, 4
Derek?
hours
4
of
hours.
sleep, and
But
4
you still
hours.
need to take that
But yeah.
rest of the remaining.
Oh, and
4 hours.
I didn't finish the 4 then, because I took both of my watches
In the middle.
in the middle.
Yeah.
I thought it
So-
was 4 hours for you and then just meditation. As long as you don't do anything hardcore. If you're just looking around,
Yeah, looking around is fine.
That's-
Looking
that's-
around is
so
fine.
you're good.
when you actually start doing stuff is when you. If I'm sitting there casting cantrips the whole time, I can't be resting. But if you're just, we're all can just sit there and look around, especially
rest.
the 3 of us because that's
Yes,
rest.
those
Can
are
it-
for
can it-
elf
Unless you need
people.
sleep.
But
Can
we
it
don't
count
need
for
sleep.
the since it's not sleep, it's meditation?
it's still meditation, but you still need to get those 4 hours of meditation. You need to
and
do
I
those.
and I can't be watching while meditating. So.
No, you cannot.
So you did 2 of
The
meditation
only,
and you broke it
the
up
only
and you were doing the
special
second 2.
is him, which it specifically says that he is not moving, but he still sees things.
Okay.
But you can't be turning your
I'm,
head.
I'm basically considered inert.
Yeah.
I look like I'm
Gotcha.
off, but
Doesn't stand by.
But
You're
I got 2 hours meditation, then did 2 watches.
You
and
got
then
3 hours of meditation so far. You
I was
need
gonna
to-
say I cut that last watch got cut in half, so I actually did get it all.
Derek notices that everybody's boots
You guys
are
did.
wet.
Ah, I see.
Good
Yes.
job.
we're rolling great today.
I barely
It's more
noticed
than I
that.
noticed.
Also,
this trend.
So,
she did the
you
first
see
watch,
the
so
move-
it's the 2 of us that.
Okay. You see the moving creatures, and with each lightning strike that temporarily blinds you and has these like little 1,000 dots in your eyes.
Wait, that's 3 ones.
Yeah, there's something moving in the
3
distance.
ones.
But is it
Oh, that
coming
was
at?
earlier though.
Hard to tell at this point.
This time I rolled.
You can't hear it because it's too far away. As the thundering hit him with the drops hitting him, it's just too loud and just definitely drowns out any noise from the distance.
Derek starts to lean back up against whoever's closest to him and just says, "Wake me up if they charge us." He puts his hat down.
Well, you said they were 200 feet away, right? Ish.
As far as you can tell, yeah.
I'm exhausted. I literally.
So everybody goes back to sleep.
Yeah, you
can't.
saw Eck, quite literally, he extended his head from his tortoiseshell and just kind of went back inside.
Let me know when they're 40
Watch is
feet.
over.
I'm actually drawing my sword, and I'm gonna go back to meditating, but sword across my lap like that. So it's literally someone can just be like, "Hey, Davros," and I'm fucking ready to go. The
Okay,
sword is
okay.
active. Yeah, it's actively in my hand, but I am going back to meditate.
Oh, fair
I'm never
enough.
distracted.
All right.
I'll make sure to wake you guys up with flying from a distance from now on.
I prestidigitation everything gray,
Ooh.
like rainy gray.
Like the tent?
No, my outfit.
Oh, your outfit. Okay, which would you can do up to 3 effects.
Yeah,
Which I'll say, I mean,
my outfit. This.
okay, yeah, which is you're not wearing a cloak as far as I'm aware, right?
Nope, my cloak's up there.
Ah, that's true. Okay, yeah, you can do that.
So like just blend, and I take 2 steps out and just stare. I don't get cold, so I'm just
He is
focusing.
Cold still affects you, so yeah, but I mean, minor cold doesn't affect you. As
It's
far
not
as
freezing cold,
Yeah.
No, it's not freezing cold, but it's
And
just
I'm wearing robes and a
uncomfortable
hood.
cold.
so I'll just do it.
Okay.
Should we
So
become?
as we have one person.
Then I'll pull out my Rockman costume so that I look all camouflaged too, since he's been camouflaged.
Okay. I mean, it's impressive. Somehow you put your hands underneath the water and fell.
No, I actually have a Rockman costume. From my background, I got one costume. It's cloth that's colored to look like rocks. It's for our show.
Okay. Did you make this? Did you make this yourself?
It came with the background.
Well, I mean, I'm asking you.
Oh,
Did you make your costume?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay. Back to the long rest at the very end of it. You 2 are keeping watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're watching this movement, go ahead and roll another perception check. Are you helping each other or individually?
I'm helping them.
Who are you helping them?
You can help me.
I'll help them.
I'll help
Then
you.
you can't see because it's dark.
No,
I
he can
I
help
can
me
listen to
though.
the shapes.
I can help him.
At this point, it is pitch black. You see nothing.
So
Yeah, and they're
At this point, unless you have some way to helping them, that's plausible. You can
think?
see.
Straight up, because he's helping me, and I have 120 feet dark.
That's fine.
17.
17? Okay. It's better than anything else that has been rolled at this point, except for the 18. Okay, after 10, 15 minutes of watching them, they move. They have like a lumbering movement to them, but they seem to be organized in some sort of pattern as they're moving towards the mound, but not like directly towards it.
Do they seem undead?
Make an investigation.
Nope. 7.
As it's very possible, but as far as you can tell from the distance, from the lack of color, lightning strikes blinding you every now and again with the water, and the sound of sparks making a bunch of noise from the water, it's hard to tell.
Are you awake or are you?
Meditating.
He's still
He's awake in the
meditating.
tent.
So,
I mean, I go into the
Probably
mountain.
the only other person that's awake.
Let everybody sleep for now.
I'm pretty much awake.
Okay, am I staying here or going with you?
We stepped outside the tent.
We're just circling the tent.
Yeah, we're just watching. Well, actually, I was just like beating on them, watching them, and then I like lean back and just let everybody sleep.
Are both of you leaving?
No, we're right
We're
here.
staying
We're staying here. We're guarding.
I'm just walking around the tent
Alright.
Yeah,
with Flame on my back.
it looks like an
and
earth
staring
elemental
at
walking
us.
around the.
keep in mind, now that the rain has picked up again, you are quickly reminded of this after spending 20, 30 minutes in the rain. This rain is excessive and it beats you down. If you stay in this kind of weather too long, you're going to be exhausted.
Okay, then Flame protects me from that.
Yes, he protects you as best as he can as a 1 foot rock.
Now you're gonna get exhausted from holding it up.
If I feel like we're getting, we can. You know what? We trade off then.
Okay.
We'll just trade off,
Okay.
and then we won't have to stay in the rain. Just make sure everybody.
Well,
gets
I'm
rest.
just making sure you guys are aware of this
Yeah.
because you do
Yeah.
feel this.
It's bad conditions.
Yes. It's not preferable.
Stop moving your leg. I'm trying to
What are you doing exactly?
I'll go in the tent and
can't move it. It's wood.
try and squeeze some
That's
of
why
the
it's
stuff
so
out
hard.
and relax for a minute while he goes around the tent for a few minutes, and then I'll step back out. He can go in the
Oh,
tent.
okay, so you're doing like patrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing trade-offs so we don't get pounded to death. But
Yeah,
we're
that's perfectly fine.
keeping the eye towards the mound,
Towards where you saw the movement and stuff like that.
and he's
Okay.
going full 360.
I will say, you make it to the long rest, and they seem to have left your vision. Or at least they've gone past, to the point where you can see past all the movement of rain.
All right. And then Mage Armor.
So everyone, in an uncomfortable state that you are, you get a long rest. So all the hit points, half your number of hit dice, if you spent any, and also your spells and abilities that you would get regained from the long rest.
Okay.
Did you bring food? I have rations.
So we can use what, half our hit dice for long rest, right? Up to half.
No,
You
get
regain,
everything back. You get
on
half.
a long rest,
Both
you
of us
regain
have
up to half your number of hit dice. So you regain
so we
2,
can even turn around.
but you regain all your hit points.
Okay.
No, I'll give you half the rations then.
Gotcha. Okay. I hadn't used any hit
I
dice
have
for
9,
healing yet.
or I have
so-
10, so I have 5 left.
Hey, I'm a better cook than you.
Okay. Yeah, I
So we
hadn't
help
used any of my
each
hit dice for healing yet. So.
I'll help you with it since I'm proficient.
Okay, good.
I am
So,
not.
and my exhaustion's gone, right?
You regain 1 point of exhaustion.
Yes. I feel so much better.
We're gonna
But
take.
he's still an excrement orifice.
Yeah, great. Here's the food for breakfast.
No, it's pronounced sunny.
Uh,
I don't learn
I'm-
many long names. but
I'm
I-
helping her. We're
But you
uh,
said a
cooking.
longer one.
We're gonna take the rations and turn it
When
into
it-
a more
when it's
tasty meal.
warranted, yes.
Because we both have the cook tools proficiency, so
Okay, so who would be rolling?
she's doing the roll since she has better wisdom, but I'm helping her, so I'm also proficient.
Roll straight up. For reasons I will not say.
It's tough to cook in a terrain.
18 plus 9,
You
27.
for no heat. Yeah, it's hard to make a fire in these kind of conditions without expending spell slots.
That I don't have anyways.
No, you don't have anyway. So,
Isn't it like
for
vegetable?
what do you combine in your food rations, if I may ask?
Well, it has meat, it's regular
Yeah.
food rations, so
So, I mean, you make various bowls of meat, cheese, and dried goods. A little bit of bread that is
I can
already.
make some like decent sandwiches.
So-
yeah,
porridge.
they're decent sandwiches. And
Sandwiches have a little bit of like mustard.
Do you pack mustard?
I was about to say, like, that's totally something I would do, and I'm like, I don't think they have the aquatic
do
version.
you say
of
something about
mustard.
damn I didn't bring mustard?
Sure.
Seaweed paste.
If only I had a little mustard.
That tastes like mustard.
All right.
I'm pulling.
At least for the next hour.
I'm looking for mustard.
An hour.
Uh,
It's an
I'm
hour.
pulling some like spice jars out of my bag. Just oh, never mind. You probably wouldn't like those anyway.
So you give them 20.
But there's better
stays
when
for an
they're
hour.
underwater.
Davros,
So it's mustard. There you go.
you have a jitter to your movement. It's slight, but you notice it.
How are you feeling?
I hold my hand on a pen. Not ideal.
Here, have a sandwich.
I will have a sandwich. I'm still looking at my hand. I just take a bite.
Spartius looks down at you guys through the hole in the top.
I'll be fine.
It worked better if you use two hands.
Probably.
Perhaps that is a side effect of coming back to life from the Vivify potion.
I imagine it is. I will hope it is.
It is not a common thing to have that, and there are often side effects.
Do you have a large cooking
I'm not
bowl?
well educated in the
I
ways
mean, I
of
have
Arcana.
cook's utensils, so I
I don't
should.
know.
Yeah, you would have a bowl. I
That
would say you would have a bowl.
But
That-
appreciate them all the same.
Pick up water? Coffee.
by
It
the way,
tastes like coffee.
and
And you
So-
can make it warm.
And it's warm coffee.
Okay, so you do
So
two
now that's
casts.
all three of my effects.
Yeah, so casting it a few times, the water doesn't change in anything, but it seems a little bit warmer.
No, it's the right color.
Oh, and there's some like, as you place your finger into it,
We're so
suddenly-
determined
I
for
can
this
make it- I can
coffee.
make it look
From
dirty.
the very tip of his finger,
No.
it almost like
Good
thick
coffee.
tea just like pours through his finger, and eventually just changes the entire bowl.
There you go.
We are so determined for this
I'll
fucking
pull out,
coffee.
I'll pull out my travel cup.
oh, that looks unappetizing even for me.
Yes, I would
It's
agree.
warm.
Warmth would be nice. Do you realize, Davros? I am not demanding this. I am just requesting. I am just requesting this. That when we see my brother again, that you thank him. What was not me that brought you back from the brink of death.
Are you certain your brother was still
My
there?
brother had enough foresight to give me his very, very rare potion that has taken his entire life savings that was intended for me to you. You do not owe a debt to me, but in truth, I think you owe a debt to him.
Of course. We'll keep that in mind.
Do
Will
we
still
need a
be at
little
the
light
tavern?
here?
Hmm?
Do we need some light here?
No.
I would think that light would not be good.
Light
But
and
we
dark
have-
Is it
place.
still dark?
We have warm sandwiches, or we have sandwiches and
Is
warm
it
coffee.
still dark?
Let's
Yeah,
revel in
it's,
the moment.
I will.
based off the light change, you would guess
I
that
will
it's
enjoy some
sunrise
of
has
that
not
warm
come into the
liquid.
effect yet.
Have you had coffee?
I have never had coffee.
Try it.
You still won't, but
What is it supposed to taste like?
Bitter.
Kind of bitter, but it wakes you up and it's nice and warm.
It is, as he doesn't really have, lips.
They do kind of have a draw. You could like.
Yeah, you do have a jaw. But as you awkwardly drink from this bowl without snapping it,
Do I have a second bowl or any sort of cup?
you would have a small mug, yeah.
Everybody.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you have to try.
Aye,
It's like the
coffee.
Ren Fair.
It is bitter.
Coffee is good,
It's like
but I'd rather
think
have
of
wine.
raw chocolate.
Next time, after the battle.
You're waiting for this wake up to happen. You wait maybe 10 minutes. It doesn't really wake you up.
I didn't say it wakes you up. I said it's warm.
I was only interested in warmth.
It's warm. Doesn't really taste good.
Hey, good, really good sandwiches. Thank you. I like
pleasure.
mustard.
No lightning strike.
Shall we venture some more?
I should ask, what is our current position? Should
Well,
we choose?
Does
one
anyone?
destination?
Did I recognize? Have any idea what that thing was up on the hill talking? And it was very rainy. Oh no, it's subsided at that point.
Does it work?
No,
But-
it did subside, so you had a little bit more view of it.
It's a
Do,
big
do
orc.
I have any idea in my dealings with any other orcs in the past of what it? Have I seen anything like that before?
Okay, if you're thinking about the mound, it's going to be different roll for if you're thinking about the horse.
I'm thinking about the mound. What was on the mound? Do I have any
Okay,
clue?
roll a history or a religion check.
Ooh, ow.
Are you proficient in either?
Probably not.
Can I try with my
Definitely
religion?
not history and religion. No, I'm
Then
not.
you would not know this, unfortunately. You can definitely
Okay.
try though.
Okay.
Again, now that it's been a new day.
19.
19. Racking your brain a little bit as you're drinking simulated coffee. And it's doing a little something for like your body's like, all right, I'm about to get caffeine, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
caffeine.
That's the cat.
Yeah, it's decaf.
Damn it.
It's decaf.
What a terrible trick.
Yeah.
No, at least it's hot. That's better
Enjoy
than.
prestidigitation for every morning that you are a little cranky.
Yeah, it just makes you more cranky.
Well, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it would make diet food taste great, though.
Let me.
Okay, tomorrow will be hot chocolate, all right?
Hold on, bringing up the information.
Yes.
Nice.
Too far.
Hot chocolate.
That would be a
It's
welcome.
like chocolate, but it's hot.
There we go.
You drink it?
You have a flashback to
Want it again?
your previous fight that you had with, specifically the fight between the orc that had the fur reinforced fur cloak,
Mine now.
which I forgot to give this to you earlier.
Ooh.
Got a bird on me.
You have flashbacks to a little bit what he said as he screamed up into the thunderous, booming sound as he screamed at the top of his lung, knowing that he was probably going to die. You remember High Fen, Heifeng, 2 words. And that rings a few bells for you. It's the Duke of Thunder. Which emphasizes a little bit more why lightning has not been frying your guys' ass 24/7 in this place. Yes, he's a god of of storms, but he's more on the thunder side. The god of lightning is a different god entirely, but this one is more on the thunder part.
So he's the god of thunder.
sound, the ringing of the ears, and the thunderous strikes that deafen everything in its field is definitely his field of expertise. You're not quite sure about that mound. It's probably some sort of religious site. You know, having a little bit of flashback to the rhythmic drumming that you're beginning to hear.
Again.
As they seem to start up in the same pattern again. As the sun, as everything becomes a little lighter, still dark, but it's dim light. As the sun behind the
That's
dark
light.
clouds tries to pierce through this endless storm. As they begin some sort of new ritual at the very tip of this mound.
Let us hope this ritual doesn't involve human sacrifice.
It most likely does.
Then we better
Or
hurry.
else-
Let's go break up a party.
However, it means they are distracted.
Agreed.
Then now is the time to move.
Okay.
Yes. Is everyone rested?
Yep.
Then we are at a strong rest.
Rested enough?
We disassemble our tent.
Wrap around.
Derek just,
Made out of 2 party members and a cloak.
Derek just does a
I put my cloak
And a
on
boulder.
back up to his feet.
Currently.
2 party
Okay.
members, a cloak,
That's a
and
little
a polar.
wet.
My cloak
As you
has a
kind of
hole
drown
in it
yourself
from
when
Derek.
you're doing so. Because when you're sitting down, it's up to your hip in water. But if I remember correctly, yeah, you didn't really get much more information than what I gave you last time when you did this history check again. If you're thinking about the orcs, I'll
I
let you
take
do
the
a
last piece of my
survival check.
sandwich, I hold it up
Because
to
you
the
do deal
plant,
with the orcs.
and I snap
All right.
my fingers and eat it.
Survival check.
Because I know you were speaking about this outside of the game.
I am proficient in this. Oh wow! And I get a whole +2 because of my proficiency.
Wow!
It makes a difference, okay?
Survival.
About the orcs.
12.
You would not be able to assist in this.
Oh, see, next time let me know.
12. The fucking orcs. A well-trained bunch of
Yes,
orcs.
I know how to say that in their tongue too.
You're fucking
Do not know
orcs.
Orcish.
All right.
Baby girl.
I mean, she's
Yeah, she was wrong.
yeah.
Mom's not home, Ginger.
Hello.
Mom's not home.
Yes, Ginger.
Nick, this may sound like an odd thing, but the rock or like the mud below us, is it possible? Could I do a nature check on it and just sort of see like
On what again?
the ground below us, like the rock and mud and stuff like that, and just to see
yeah,
if
you can
there's
definitely do a nature check.
if there's anything unnatural about it.
Oh yeah, roll a nature check.
That's gonna be a 23 actually.
23. I mean, well, the storm for its unnature ability to just summon water out of nowhere, because the ability of just creating storm clouds.
I'm more wondering if the unnatural nature of the storm is affecting like the earth itself. Is
Well,
what
definitely, because it's taking all the sills and all the loose rock and definitely getting it out.
Gotcha.
So there's what's left is for what you're standing on is thicker rocks that have been smoothed out in a very fast pace.
Gotcha,
And
okay.
you've been dodging pitfalls of where just water just goes deeper for turbulence that's been picking up in that small little area, and it's just slowly been making new rivers in a very short amount of time.
Okay. I was just wondering. I'm kind of looking at the ground a little
yes,
bit as we're getting
it's
ready.
natural in the sense of there's something unnatural forming it.
Gotcha.
So it's one of those things. As you see lightning strikes,
It's
starting
naturally
to pick up in
unnatural.
intensity once again. As a few of them get magnetized towards the mound, as you're getting glimpses of it again, you see the same blue glowing Nordic symbols that when the lightning strikes hit, now that you're much closer, are able to see that it lights up that small area and then slowly diminishes.
So you all ready to break up a party?
Oh, why not? I have no other plans today.
Sparks is already walking.
Alright.
Derek will move off to the right
We're
of
gonna
him.
go through like
He will have his
their
bow ready
like
with an arrow.
tunnel sort of deal going up, or
And he
like
will
was there
start
some sort of
stealth.
path?
I wanted to go up to where the body was thrown.
That's going to be 3/4 up the mountain, hill.
That's where I'm trying to go.
You currently cannot see it. Make a perception check.
I want to see the
At
approximate area.
disadvantage. At disadvantage.
I hate when you say that. Come on, double that 20s. Oh, that's not bad. 10.
It's there. You just got to point in the random
Okay,
direction.
that's close enough. That's that way.
Is there a trail?
It's better than that way.
Is there a trail or something leading up the mountain?
That way.
Perception check. At disadvantage.
Can we see?
Wow. Okay,
Yes,
sure.
19.
And at that
19.
point,
Okay. Piercing through the veil of the heavy, thick rain that seems to be gradually getting heavier.
Didn't I say don't worry?
Heavier, which each passing moment has more and more lightnings in the background, especially on the outer parts of the storm that have not reached the inner parts yet. As the rhythmic drumming is picking up again. You don't see any path, but you can't really see into them, for you're still quite a bit distance away, maybe like 500 feet away from the base of the mountain. You see many grooves in areas where things could hide, and maybe have possible natural cave systems inside, as you see quite water pouring into it in droves, and small waterfalls pouring on other parts of the area that seems to have some sort of inner working of a river system on the inside, as it's just internally being taken apart, rapidly destroying, supposedly, this hill. But a given path? No. It is a daunting task and would be a feat alone to climb this thing.
And how tall is it?
For what you can tell, 1,000, 1,500 feet.
Do we see any path anywhere on any of the sides?
I do point out the cracks to them.
Okay.
Was there some sort of like tunnel system or something from where we saw the orcs originally? Like right
Which
before
one?
the
Oh,
fight?
you mean the ones in the night.
Yeah, the ones that the ones that we fought.
Oh, ones you saw.
At,
Well,
like,
no,
base.
you were out in the open field as far as I
Okay.
can tell.
The ones that we were watching, though, they went towards a certain place.
They went out of your vision.
But they were heading in a specific direction.
They were heading off to the right from where you were going towards.
Away from the map.
Away, towards, around, it's hard to say. The rain covered up a lot of
Check out the cracks.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, he just said water was coming out of some of them and going in on others, so
Must be able to go through it.
Be very careful and watch your footing. You do not want to be swept away.
As you guys go closer and closer toward the mountain, using that same perception check, you do notice where you're heading in. One, you stop people from falling into the river, just right off the bat. But
Watch out
looking
for
where
water.
that river is, you're maybe 100 feet from the actual base of it. Now seeing more jagged rocks, almost like the earth has been unnaturally grew in that direction from these strange spheres of black charred rock that when you get closer to them, lightning strikes strike the pillar of them and the sides of them, magnetizing, even though they're like 50 feet away, quite literally as it's striking, jumps towards them.
So they're arcing.
Yes.
wonderful.
You notice a small, dark cave that looks to be partially filled. Off of the, maybe a little bit to the left from where you guys are heading, on the base, near the base side.
And I'll look in and see if it looks like it does.
You gonna march over there? Okay. You start marching over there, staying away from the river. You notice that the river actually aggressively becomes not a river as it joins the mountain, but still has a lot of water that seems to be filling up and continuing the path as it just starts to erode away the looser rock. Looking inside as you get closer and closer, maybe 50 feet now, your dark vision able to peer through 120 feet.
Mine's on 16.
That's me, but I'm with them.
Okay, so with your assistant, you start to see what looks to be a partly submerged cave, some sort of cave entrance. As you start to see wood curved and sloped, with the very tip of it, what looks to be a direwolf head growling, with Nordic rolling all over it. What just happened?
The rain's.
Hallelujah!
We should have slept in here.
Did you hear the drums though going too?
Yes,
That was
yes.
like, I was getting goosebumps. And that's all from Silent.
Technology is putting me
So
on.
while he's doing that, who has dark vision?
That's
That's what I was going
great.
to ask. How many people are seeing here? Half.
Less than half.
see.
I can cast light in a dim fashion, so
This
it
is
doesn't-
all from Siren's
so it's
Gate,
not
right?
so
It
bright.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Any light.
You can't
People
see
who
that.
have light,
Elements from science state.
you can see
I
as
can-
far as the
I
light
can-
goes.
I
but
can
anyone
control
else
the
outside the light can see it so easily.
Turtles don't get
That's
dark vision.
fine, but I can
No,
still
I do
control
not
the
have
brightness
dark
of it.
Another deal.
You
So I
would,
think
you
we
would,
need
you
to use the
would,
light.
you would think so, but no.
If
Unless
it
we're
was
doing like a
you can
caravan.
see, we could chance it, but
Swim in
before
dark,
we
muddy
can't
water.
see, we need
But-
light.
Over half of us. Don't
I am a turtle. See, turtles swim, tortoises sink.
Oh,
I can hold my breath, but I cannot see in the dark.
alright. So I explained to
So
you
you're
guys what's going on up
mid-aged,
there.
mangled fighting turtle? So,
Who are you calling middle-aged?
Mid-aged.
Mid-aged.
All right, just let me know when you want me to cast the light.
how to tell if you're
Well, if it's dark in the
How to tell
cave,
if
you're
you're
probably going to have
mid-aged.
to cast light.
your
because-
Right.
peons keep asking the Lord after.
And what you want me to cast it on?
I'm just trying to find the body.
I cast it on it.
There it is.
I just have.
I don't have my sword
I'm
out
gonna
right
have
now.
to figure out what's going on. I'm gonna have to uninstall and reinstall it or have something happen to it. Anyway,
Although, if we're in a
so-
cave, maybe I will have my sword out.
Yeah.
so at the very base, you start to see wood with a Nordic style artwork, where you know how they hook around and make these other parts of the body out of the looping style of the Nordic artwork. They make a outer edge of what a growling direwolf on a bow of some sort of boat. But you see the very tip of it. As you see maybe
Could that be the boat that they dragged?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Or
How
it's
big,
just
how
a
big
step
does the boat look?
Cast
marking the
the-
entrance of the cave.
You only see the bow
That's
of
the
it, the
mission.
boat.
Once
it's
we're
maybe
once
2
we're
feet
inside the
wide,
cave.
Right.
as far as you can tell.
But it's like this. It's very, or is it shallow?
It's shallow.
Do you remember
It's-
the drag marks? Were they shallow or were they?
Talk
They
to
were shallow.
Davros
I
is
was
in
I was the
front
one that checked out the Dav mark.
The drag.
I was the
Drag
one that
marks.
checked out the drag marks.
Not
No more coffee for you.
I think he
The
needs
technology's
coffee.
striking him
Just
now.
actual coffee.
Quick, reboot him.
What the heck was in that coffee?
It wasn't
Just
coffee.
water.
It wasn't coffee.
Yeah, but anyway, but you would have to
I hate
have
fake
to go
coffee.
inside as far as you can tell, with the assistance of the rain just blocking your path, and quite literally, now that you're closer, the sheer rock faces are just creating these sleets of waterfalls that you have to keep away from. Otherwise, it's just going to push you away. For most of you,
Okay, so as soon as we get into this cave,
if you're going into the cave.
I'm
Yeah.
going in.
I go in the cave.
Once we're in the
Yeah.
Oh, you're going into the cave.
Okay.
It's a direwolf relief. It's not a direwolf.
It's a direwolf relief on the. It's like the head of the ship.
Okay, we're headed that way.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know if we.
Where
can
is the
possibly
body
be sneaky.
that was thrown
Now I
out?
can see how high.
up there, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Last time you checked.
We're still closer to the bottom in this
of.
case.
Yeah, you're just
fall
reaching the base of
down
it, and this is
No.
this is the first thing you saw when you hit the base.
Because it's a very.
It looks like it's parked in the tunnel.
Yes.
You go over there.
Going
I go
inside of it, you see a what, for the most loosely terms of an unnatural storm, a quickly evacuated a cave system that off to the right hand side looks to be dug a little further in to make a little space for a dry area where the water is still half filled in the rest of the cave, where the boat sits in it. And you see a long, 50-foot long, sorry, not 50 foot long, 25 foot long, 10 foot wide flatbed boat. Doesn't have many things on it apart from.
Almost a barge at that point.
Yeah, it's a large one, but orcs they need a lot of room.
But a barge is usually
I'm
more
specifically
flat
wondering
bottom and squarish.
It is.
And
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
less of this.
They-
and more
It's
of
a
that.
riverboat.
It's a river.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite literally a
It's
river.
got a flat
and
bottom.
So-
based on the surrounding area, they definitely need this ship.
So yeah, I was gonna say. So look at how
You
it's
also notice that there are
situated.
wooden crates
If
off
it-
to the right hand side. It looks like 4 or 5 of them.
You might have an
Maybe
idea.
double check them.
Yeah, 2 questions. He's got lots of questions. It's like. Let him go first, and I got another question.
I'm specifically going up to the body.
Well, you're gonna have to start climbing.
I will do that.
We,
Are we-
we're
are we
gonna get
going
the
into
body.
Oh, wait,
Can't
wait,
see.
wait.
Okay, as you're
Okay,
looking
fine,
at the
body
sheer
count it is.
edges, as you see the water at this
Sparks, wait.
location,
Sparks, wait.
it's like the waterfall got diverged from a single path from jetting up rock, and it's split waterfall into 2, which is why you're able to see the cave front. The rest of it is just roaring water.
Okay,
Right.
never mind.
Okay, so
You're gonna have to go around and go from a different angle.
Yeah, I'll just go up through it.
There's no,
I've got to do
there's
body
nothing-
count.
There's nothing defined there.
if we were to look at the boat from where the boat is, if we were to launch it, it would hit the river he found.
Yes, because
That's the way
quite
out.
literally there's a river.
Is there a way home?
Yeah.
That's
I
the
was
way
going
out.
to
That's the way
suggest
out.
that we
Oh, yeah.
scuttle the
Anybody here
boat so
know
they
how to
can't
sail a
use it.
boat?
But we can use it.
Oh, there we go.
All right. So hold on. So check the.
You're
moorings.
like, this skill will never get used.
So
I'm on land.
Is there a quick way to release this boat and get it into the river?
Yes.
Make a perception check, or make a
I'm-
perception or an investigation
I'm
check.
helping him.
Okay.
There's a quick
If you're
assessment way.
looking to see if it's river ready, not sea ready, make an investigation or a perception check. Either one will define the situation.
I'm gonna do perception.
Okay, go right ahead.
Ooh.
25.
25.
Wow.
So doing a quick just runabout, still ankle deep in water.
Yeah.
It looks like it's touching the floor, so it's going to need someone to push it, which is why it's not just flowing away at this point. But there are specific anchors that they've taken around the front and back of the ship and just wrapped it around and just put it into these metal sticks that looks like these big pieces of just twisted metal that you can't even tell what it was originally, but they're dark pieces of metal that have just been jammed into the stone floor.
Pita.
And looks like the top of it has been hammered, incredibly harshly.
If we need to leave, can you and you and you?
You also notice
I could probably
Yeah, you
do
said
it.
In
so.
between the
push it.
Nordic
probably do it
artwork
myself.
that goes on the sides of the railing, even though the railing's not very high, it's maybe 4 foot high railing. It's more of a like cargo hold than anything else.
That's a decent one.
No seats, very little seating to mention. That's not splintered and torn apart, and then crudely remade with various furs and skins that have been treated, and just this odor just hits you. Even though it's been just waterlogged for who knows how long, the odor still hits you. Of like some sort of rotting meat in between the treated leather. You notice that there's 4 or 5 crates onto the dry area that they have digged a recess for the water to go in to make it easier to push out. So it's in the dry area off to the right hand side when you're going into the cave.
And as I'm noticing these things,
But you notice, because you did roll 25, you notice that there's some sort of different rune work on the outside of the railing that goes to the wolf head.
oh,
Wrap around the neck.
Nordic markings again?
Not
or
Nordic markings. Roll an investigation check or Arcana check if you want more information.
investigation. 16?
16. Okay. They're definitely not Nordic. They're more primal and because the Nordic artwork, it can be jagged in some areas, but it's very flowing, and then it goes into like a 90-degree angles and stuff like that. This one is more rigid in nature
Because it can move itself.
and primal.
Arcana.
And everything
Definitely
that,
Arcana, something like that.
everything that I'm noticing, I'm pointing out to people. So
Religion?
point out to Sonny. Well, Sonny's doing an Arcana.
Arcana 21.
It wouldn't
If
be
you wanna roll
it wouldn't be a religion thing. Actually, it might be for a specific piece of detail. For the 21, you never really are you proficient in Arcana?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking before I give you too much information. Looking through the entire runes, it takes you a good 10 minutes to study the runes. This is, and you have, what did you roll for?
16.
16? Actually, both of you at the same time for religion and for Arcana. This is something that comes from what is known as a rune stone of some sort. Basically, someone of great power put runes of ancient worth and ancient power into a pillar or pylon. Very much like the one that you saw at the very beginning before you entered this place.
Naturally, the one we leave behind.
And if
That may be good.
depending on the
Try.
each rune stone has a little bit of technique of getting it from the stone to the object, but they seem to have been able to do that so that it goes against. I mean, it will go with the river just fine, but if you put it against the stream, it will match it.
Wow.
So,
So that's how they really did it
so
upstream.
we want this boat later.
White Heat said, that's you, guys.
Gotcha. Okay.
DC 20.
So
Is there?
But that's as far as you can tell on this.
I would like to
How the
sit
pilot is?
inside the back of the
Not a
tunnel.
clue.
Is there anything? Is this boat just in a?
Well, there's like more of a tunnel.
There is more of a tunnel.
While they were doing that, I was on the dry
That's what I
part,
thought.
just getting all the water off.
Okay.
Before you go
So
talking, I
helpful.
do a quick scan to make sure I don't see any people or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's this quite literally looks like a docking area, and that's it.
Okay,
It's
well, he's
it's
making
a partly submerged water area, and then there's a shelf where there's like a couple of crates, and that's as far as you can tell.
I'm gonna go search through the crates.
Okay. When you get to the crates,
as I'm pointing things out, I make sure to point to you two, and I say, once the front and the back
Can we see?
are unhitched, the water is too shallow. It
it's
will not
dark
move.
in here. Yes.
When
Okay, I'm
we get
casting
out of here,
light on
you two are the
shield.
strongest ones. We need you two push this,
But I
and
wanna-
once it gets down there to the exit, I can get us home.
Davros, you go blind as you were looking at Sparks for half a second as your shield just became bright.
Once it gets down there, I can get this. Oh fuck you!
But I was casting light at half intensity, so
You can't do that.
really, I can't control how bright it is.
No.
No.
that's
I love being
You can
blinded
pick
without
the
the
color.
warning. That's my fucking favorite.
Yes, make it purple.
You can make it whatever color.
Really, you want it purple?
Yeah.
No.
It's
Okay.
bright
I
for
mean,
X
red
amount
light
and dim
usually
for
is
X.
easier on the eyes.
So the whole area is
Okay.
lit up,
The-
giving
the-
color to everything.
The light is red.
For all
Yeah.
intents and
We don't have
purposes,
to put on the red light.
It does. It makes it easier so that you can go from light to dark places. But for all intents and purposes, the area is bright. For like in case you
Good. Now I can search the crates in peace.
Yes. So some color comes in. as you search the crates with intensity.
Are you sure you do not want green?
No, it's fine.
Green is brighter than red.
You find a series of 3 big ones and about 4 little crates and barrels as well. And it looks like a few of them were broken open to see what's inside, and it looks like others were just wrenched open. But going through them, you find like dried meats, barrel of grain, spices, and,
Provisions.
Yeah.
Provisions.
and you
This is the
find
same
a
stuff
lot
that came from my-
of treated cow leathers and heavy cloaks. 2 crates are specifically for
Wait a
these.
minute, I'm the one that made this crate.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Advantage, disadvantage, normal.
No.
Straight up. White. Hey,
Good
glad I
choice.
chose right. Investigation. Well, that's going to be a modified 20.
Modified 20. So, going through the various foods, making sure there's no one inside, because it's not uncommon that when people are in a dire situation, they hide in any thick material possible.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going through the crates of dried meats, treated
Being careful not to
spices.
smash anything.
I'm taking some of the meat
That's pretty hard for
spices.
you because you're
Yeah, just
you're delicate to things, but then they just
dexterity is not a good thing.
No, yeah.
Are you trying to just like separate things apart and stuff like that?
I'm just like moving things, not with like the blade.
Let me know if you see any swords. Let
For
me know if
anyone
you see
that
any
gets
swords.
closer and that has smell, actually you would have smell too.
If I want to.
Half of it's rotten,
Ooh.
and it just hits your senses.
I
Getting
don't
into the
like it.
cow leather, half of it's treated, half of it's not, and it just adds to that just disgusting, slimy ichor that just hits your throat. What you would have for nostrils, or what you would have. As you dig through the cloaks,
Yeah,
your
just
hand
fucking
just
green.
hits slick, and just as you pull it up, it's just you see just rotten remains of untreated cow
Did you see the
leather.
eyes? My eyes just
Hey.
kind of flicker a dark green.
Yeah.
Hey,
As
hey,
you,
don't do that.
on
Come
your knuckle, one of the cloaks, it looks like it's some sort of a heavy bearing cloak. Let me remind myself, as I wrote this a while ago.
Orc filth. Don't worry about it.
No, I clean it off you.
Smell like your enemy.
No.
What?
I don't think that's how that
You
works.
find a fine leather cloak, a
Are there skinny blue?
fine
ones?
blue cloak with,
And it will not help me.
Wait, is it like cloak or cloak?
I wrote this one after I took out my wisdom teeth and I was still high.
Ooh.
I'm reading this, I'm reading this, I'm like, what the hell did
This-
I read?
Pain measure.
This
Wow.
will be a very interesting item.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's a Technicolor cloak.
The cloak of many colors.
Yeah, when you put it on, you suddenly lose your
Wow,
wisdom teeth.
man.
Hey man, everything's cool.
Wow. Okay, I remember what I wanted it to look like. It's a fine blue cloak that has on the, along the edges of it has coral, and in that coral along the edges that has been sewn into it, there's tiny bits of fishes.
Davros, I believe I found something for you.
Like actual
I-
fishes or just like
No,
embroidery?
Embroidery.
Looks like
Okay.
That's
I
really
can
I was
touch it
reading what I
underwater.
got. I'm like, what the fuck did I write?
It's something from the sea. I don't know what it is.
Good gun and handy for me.
There you go. Yeah. lately.
Pieces of fish, like edible fish.
No.
No, it's like there's
Embroidery.
coral along the embroidery, and then in the seaweed that curls, there's bits of there's fishes swimming in the coral.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps
Close
it's
to water.
it is something for you because
Oh.
it is from underwater, obviously, or something to do with water.
I take,
Decorative.
does this,
I stand by
does
that
any of
definition.
this look familiar or of note or anything like that to me?
You can roll Arcana
Arcana?
History?
if you're looking for the cloak. I mean, what do you mean by does anything look familiar? What do you mean by that?
No, like all the markings of like the fish and the coral and seaweed and stuff like that.
Yes, they look like fish and coral.
Oh. If you want an Arcana check, do. I don't have Arcana. I don't know magic.
Oh. No.
Neither does he.
16.
No, it would be a 19, but you want me to roll in the center, right?
It's not cocked, is it?
No,
No,
flat out.
it was flat. It just landed outside.
If you continue to do that path, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's yeah. Pass that to me.
Pass.
You almost ripped the cloak, man.
Pass it to him since he's the one that rolled the arcana check.
Why are we taking time?
I
Pass
found
it to
it.
him already.
You already got a direwolf, Kate. Don't worry.
Let me know if you see a sword.
Unless you breathe underwater.
Oh, I knew
Fuck yeah!
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
Say that again?
I
And you have
explained
your-
them.
And you have your swimming speed of 60 feet. Fuck. You
You already have that, don't you?
Yeah, I call that one the.
Not 60 feet.
I call that one the Aquaman Kate because it makes you shit levels.
I
Holy
did that.
shit. Yeah, your swimming speed ends up being double your walking, probably, unless you're fucking Hazel. And yeah, and you can breathe underwater. Like, oh shit.
Someone who
You
doesn't
don't
breathe
need
underwater.
it.
I'm just like, you tell me what happens. Like, I don't fucking need this. Who wants to breathe underwater and swim faster than I can?
I need to do neither.
We should probably save it for whoever needs to do that.
Someone who can't breathe
I can
underwater.
hold my
Maybe
breath.
let's continue
Why don't
making
we
her
do
the
that?
fastest.
I'm gonna keep looking.
Wait,
Looking
just
through
normal,
the. You find more rotten meats, treated leather. You find a skull.
Is it a clean skull or is it?
No, you quite literally find a soldier's helmet that still has the face in it, and the mouth is
Oh,
slashed.
all right.
Ooh.
Oh,
maybe there's a sword for you.
Put it down. Put it down.
I said it. That is obviously not a sword.
You may have one.
Was there any other like tunnel openings?
Make a perception check.
Fighter shoot.
Inside the cave that you're in, or
Yeah.
outside?
Inside.
Make a perception check.
Just straight up,
Straight
right?
up,
Because we have
you
light.
You hear the thundering booms outside the cave and the rainfall, but you are not in the rain right now.
15.
15, you look around the walls. It looks like they chiseled out the area that you're standing in right now for the crates, but it looks like this is just quite literally a water port. And that's it, as far as you can tell.
There's no tunnel in here or anything out?
Do you want to feel around?
Sure.
That's what I
we
was
are not
looking
seeing anything with
for.
the light.
Oh, then make an investigation check with advantage.
Because it's
on the
120 feet of light.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not
60
my
feet
thing.
bright, 60 feet dim.
Well, I would think red would be dimmer than
It's
other
It's
still
gonna be a 10.
It's still the same.
10, as you kind of feel around in the obvious places, you don't find any hidden areas as far as
Why
you
don't
can
you
tell.
give it a shot?
Perhaps any rooms?
Wait, we're trying to find a way through rocks? Maybe
Another
fly
2 bite the
through rocks.
dust.
Flan does have a familiarity.
Alright, have Flan check the walls to see if there's any secret passages.
You know, at this point, he'll do a better job than I will.
Roll straight up.
Yeah.
couldn't hurt.
As the cave is filled with another racket
There's no
noise,
way through these walls.
I say, as you slam the flat against the door, creating a few sparks every now and again,
Would you stop making so much noise?
you still hear the drumming outside.
They're making more.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
Along with
Can I do?
You'll be making more
Clanging of metal.
screaming from there.
in not like screaming pain, more like a jockey, like kind of deal.
Can I do like an
Outside.
investigation check or something, looking for ways to go deeper in?
Just one more time.
Can I do an investigation check?
For what?
Trying to find ways to go deeper in, or
Roll a disadvantage because everyone's been investigating
I
at
think
this
we gotta
point, and
go.
you're just adding to the mix.
fair? That's totally fair. Motherfucker, the first one was a nat 20, and the second
Why
one
do
was
we
a
do
19.
anything?
19.
Oh dang.
Why do we do anything?
I don't know.
That was as you're just as everyone's joining and just making a bunch of noise.
Not me. I'm not doing that shit.
I forget your name.
Dark.
Derek, I do apologize.
Did we
I'll
see
get
where
his name
those
down
other
eventually.
figures went?
Derek and Spark, you're just kind of watching this happen. Davros, you find nothing. You find stone, wet soil, a very stinky boat.
I told you there was no way.
So this
Alright.
cave is. There's no way from this cave to go upstairs.
As
No,
far as you
we
can tell.
gotta go back
Okay, so it's just a
outside.
storage cave, but at least it's
the
sheltered.
ceiling.
Oh,
The
yes.
ceiling?
How far up is it?
It's about 20 feet.
Go check the ceiling. Here, I'll hold you up.
It's a rather tall area.
Go check the ceiling.
Use him. Apparently, he's the only one who can fucking do anything.
No.
Would you like a boost? What? You can stand on my shield and I will lift you up to the ceiling.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Check the ceiling, because one would think
Because how tall?
I
are
would
you?
say this
8
has
foot,
been about 30
And I'm
minutes.
6
of
feet,
you
and
guys
if you
doing
raise it
this.
high enough,
That's fair.
That's being generous. Guys.
Yeah.
That's just being screwed around.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
checking the entrance,
Good to know.
guarding the entrance,
Thank you for that.
and my bow is away and my sword is out.
Got it. So you're
was my next plan.
I would say this is about a 15-foot opening so the boat can get through, no problem.
Yes.
So you would basically stand at the center of it.
I'll go stand over on like the other side of the opening.
Got it.
Got this.
Davros, you're being lifted up by Sparks.
just to
with-
investigate the ceiling, just in case.
Yeah, with this glowing shield, there's no shadows except for like the ceiling has bits of like almost like jagged edges that have like it almost looks like it had like a small cave in and then it hardened again.
Gotcha.
It's a strange combination of it slipped and then hardened and then slipped and then hardened from like various pressure points of how much weight is being put on it from different angles. It's definitely not natural as far as you can tell, which creates a very strange array of shadows around you because the light source can't get everything. Make another perception or an investigation check at this point as you're looking to see any sorts of.
For investigation.
That's a 10. Damn.
10.
Yeah, 10 total.
As you're looking around into the pitfalls, various corner pieces, as far as you can tell, no. As you hear zzz, 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 as a black fly lands on your nose, as you feel that almost like a terrible presence behind you.
Like that.
I just kind of, while still balancing atop his shield, I just kind of like,
A fly in this place?
and I kind of look back behind me.
Have you seen everything that's rotting?
Yeah, I was gonna say this would be the place flies could act.
Is there anything?
Be-
There's nothing behind me.
As far as you can tell, no. You see Sparks underneath you with his unblinking, full-eyed expression.
There's constant yellow flickering.
Everything bathed in blood red.
He wanted red.
There's nothing up
Give
here.
him
Let me
red.
down.
He said
There's
put it
nothing
back.
up here. Let me down. Just like an
Just-
elevator.
Going down.
Promenade.
You're an automaton, not a robot.
I hop down into the fucking water again. Nothing is dry.
No,
And I mean, I don't.
dry.
Oh, you don't care. You're
Everything
in
is
water,
wet.
or you hop down to the nice area that's not in water.
No, I'm in the water.
Davros,
I will have to polish my shield.
your eyes turn to the left. As you feel this force, the dark present force, you feel almost like a killing intent coming from your left side. As your eyes look to the left and look up, and you see out with this bathed a hallway of blood, red.
Why did we make this
The
worth it
fly
on ourselves?
zzz, goes through the ceiling.
Through the ceiling.
Through the ceiling in like corner. Right where you enter, at the very front entrance and up.
I'm really glad I put myself at the front.
And I try to find just like a little pebble or a little stone or something in all the rubble and shit.
Easy enough. I mean,
And I-
it's
and I
nothing
just-
but stones underneath the rivers at that point.
And I throw it right at that spot on the ceiling.
What do you
The
see?
stone goes through the ceiling, through the stone. Half second later, as the stone falls back through.
It's
That's an illusion.
I'll back
That
up.
part of the ceiling, it's not there.
I'll back up.
Hopping back up.
Going up.
Going up to that spot, I try to like reach through it.
For the height, I would say you would just get your fingertips to it, because it is about 15, 20 feet up.
I'm 8 feet, which means I can get up to about 12 feet.
With your arms and
hands.
everything, and then the shield.
So
and
can
then
he
you-
reach it?
What's your height?
How tall are you?
I'm like 6'2".
So you'll be able to get it.
Yeah, I'm pretty tall.
Yeah. So as you go to explore the ceiling, your hand passes through.
And as I go like
And
that, is there like
immediately
a ledge or something?
No, you hit rope.
Well, what do you see? What do you feel?
My friends, and I take my feet off the shield and I just hang on the rope with my hands through the ceiling. I just My friends, I think I found a way.
Okay, you do that. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Because it's not attacked.
Because it wouldn't tie it on.
Dex saving throw.
I do it.
Sometimes I'm going to have to catch
That's going to
someone.
be a 22.
Yeah.
22. As you grab it and put your full weight on it, it falls about 10 feet and stops.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't eat shit at least.
No, it literally, you get that butterfly feeling as you fall.
And now your face out with me.
And I'm swinging.
So what is it? What is it? A trapdoor or a
found a way
ladder or what?
It seems you have.
Oh,
The illusion is still there,
You're
but the
trying.
rope is going through it.
Oh, thank you.
I'm
Right.
skeptical about the ability for this rope to hold my weight.
then you
I
go
will
last.
check it out, and I scurry up him and past him and up the rope.
Knowing your dex, just for fun, make it
Acrobatics? Yep. Cool.
Just for fun.
That's right. Acrobatics.
Gonna jump
My
off
proficiency.
me.
Wow,
How about a 24?
Okay, yeah. Just like a some sort of like a rabbit. Up and into the shadow, you get 10, 15 feet. I don't know how far you're going. As you see yourself, after you pass the threshold and he disappears through the illusion, as you can plainly see, it's a 10-foot diameter hole that has been clawed out by some means, and the rope just goes up.
I will continue to climb.
As will I.
Okay?
I don't need to see. I will just continue to climb.
You wanna
Make
go
an athletics check then,
I'll
as you
follow.
are now
I'm just gonna
climbing
assist
and
people
using
along the
strength
rope.
at this point.
Thank you.
I'll be helping people on the rope.
I'll go after him.
Do I need to do an athletics as well?
And when I say rope, it's quite literally this thick around.
Did you say athletics or
Fuck.
acrobatics?
Sorry?
Did you say athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics, because climbing is athletics.
Can I
Yeah.
use my
Yeah,
feet?
this
Can I
is-
use my
this
feet
is
to help
all-
me
I
up
would
the
say
wall?
with the
Strength.
rope, you have advantage, because you're using a rope which is intended for climbing.
So athletics with advantage.
Oh,
Advantage for us as well?
25.
Yes. 25?
Oh, thank God I had advantage. Didn't help much, but fuck.
You and me need to
Fuckity
go
fuck,
last.
Would you like me to catch you?
Because
You
and we
might
can knock
need
down the
to.
rope at the same time.
All right, what's my athletics? Oh, nothing. So it's a 6 with advantage.
Okay.
I swing out and catch Rapflan's chain around him and catch him with my natural 20.
Mine's a 5.
Okay. He's not falling,
Oh, okay, never mind.
but he's not moving.
3.
As
I push him up then.
not Davros.
Another 2 by
Derek, you just disappear. 10, 15, 20, 30 feet. We'll get to you in just a moment. Davros, you go as your arm starts shaking,
I have a 29 behind me.
as you start to sweat profusely, as suddenly you get up to his level. If you want to try to carry him,
Piggyback.
What's your strength?
It's a 14.
That's not bad.
Make another strength check.
I am an elf. I'm pretty light.
Yes, but he's not exactly the most muscle-bearing person.
Fair. He's carrying a 50-pound rock with him. What do you mean he's not muscle bearing?
But he's also carrying the 50-pound rock still.
This one's
Which
straight
adds
up.
50
Straight
pounds.
up.
Does it not?
Cocked.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I now have.
That was.
It was like 10
It
now.
was still better.
12.
12?
12.
It's better than the other roll would have been.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll eventually get there. You're going at half speed, but Davros, you're holding on to this.
Boulder.
Well, no, you're wrapped around the You're wrapped around the belly by the chain of Flan, as he just one by one, inch by inch, starts pulling you up. As this a very strange man, strange half elf, starts pulling you up better than what you were doing.
I was after him.
Yes, you're behind him at this point. They're taking up the entire area, so you're kind of behind him.
I rolled a 19. So I kind of at one point look up since I can see 120 feet in here.
You see the ceiling, and you see him just looking over the edges. Stop moving the rope.
So I have 6 dice in jail right now.
Wow.
If anyone wants
They're
to.
piled up.
God.
I will,
So, you
I-
believe prison rehabilitates. That's
Yes,
cute.
but they are pretty dice.
It doesn't
all right,
demand.
I'm just gonna make you a dice jail bucket.
Thank you. Thank
It's just
you.
going to be one of those Home Depot buckets. You just throw it in. At the end of the day, it'll be
500 dice later.
Yes.
I got 20
Am I
more
correct
dice.
You have
that
20
has,
d20s.
has everyone got up the rope?
Left.
She was behind me.
He's
Yeah.
near the top.
but
I'm dragging him up
but
slowly behind
It's
him.
we're still down on the
I-
bottom.
The last two
Sorry
are
for
you
athletics.
guys.
I
if
rolled
you're
a
climbing
3
up.
and a 4.
There's going to be a little skid
Everyone?
about that.
Everyone?
How am I to reach? Well, you can.
There we
reach
go.
me.
As you get up to the very top of it, you reach another area that has some sort of illusion on it. As your head goes past rock again, but like on the opposite side, it's kind of weird. It's like a false shelf. It's not. It looks like the illusion is supposed to fool the other person on the other side.
Right.
It's kind of weird. Oh wait, no, it would have nothing on the other side. So yeah, anyway, when you kind of put your hand through it, you notice your hand hits a solid surface, and it feels a little bit like heavy pieces of wood. Make a strength check, just for me, please.
People with strength are incredible.
How big is the rope, by the way?
Oh, it's big around.
It's an anchor rope, but still.
So,
That'll hold us.
yeah.
14.
That'll hold you.
That'll hold both of
If
us.
it's healthy.
All of us.
Oh, that's true. If
It's been
hard.
waterlogged.
Never
for how
mind.
long?
It might hold both of us.
It might have one.
14.
Yeah.
Well, I can't climb it,
You notice
apparently.
it's pretty heavy, and it looks like something has been placed on it.
Waterlogged though. Right.
What are you doing?
Grappling at the bottom.
I will use.
It feels like you can definitely move it, but you don't know what's on the other
Right
side.
on the back.
Okay.
Yes, please.
How heavy does it feel?
You just, well, you're gonna have to push more, and it's
I
definitely
rolled a
gonna
three
make a
and a
move
four.
if you
Okay.
want to feel the full weight.
Plus 1.
But you feel like you can definitely slide it in a direction.
Okay. I'm doing this as stealthily as possible, but I
Make a stealth check.
do wish to slide it over, and so I can check above the area to see what's in the area.
I'm gonna be riding on his back, by the way,
Climb aboard.
for climbing up.
Because she slipped down a little bit as well.
We'll get to that in a moment, because it's a 10-foot wide hole.
No, on my shoulders.
One moment. How am I supposed to reach the rope if you go?
I'm not going yet.
Last.
Oh,
We will go last. And
Very
I'm not touching the rope
Cool.
until everyone is
Cool.
above, and I'm
Not
the
very
one on the
stealthy.
rope.
Okay. So as you're moving this one-handedly,
Right.
If we
Yeah.
fall, I'll be okay.
and you're starting
Well,
to shake because
Wait, no. Can't I grip the rope with my feet
Just
and then
the
use
climbing.
my shoulder or back to try to nudge it over?
I mean, you're trying your best.
Right.
You're trying your best. It's a thick, heavy rope.
Right.
And it looks like the rope goes past, not goes past, but goes into this corner where another heavy stake
Right.
has been jabbed into it.
That's what I'm
And it looks like the rope actually goes through the loop, it is wrapped around several times there, and it looks like it's like attached somewhat past where this thing is been placed on top of it.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it looks like the rope is being like pinched by whatever's on top of the hole.
All right. So can I see a way of?
But as you start, you notice this as you're moving it, you lift it up with your back and you move it to the side once, twice, 3 times. As no light seems to come through, but you see past it and see another ceiling and a ledge. 10 feet above, as you notice hide leather above it and a pole, and it looks like you're in some sort of tent.
All right. So at this point, I'm trying to check to see if this is some kind of trap or if it's just kind of some kind of a counterweight.
Make an investigation check.
Right.
This is like bomb diffusing music.
12.
12. As far as you're aware, if this was a trap, it would have happened as soon as Davros hung on the thing.
Okay.
Unless this is like a way drawn out trap, but you know.
Goes off that
Can I
2
figure out?
hours.
Can I figure out if this is a counterweight or if there's something that I can cut to release?
I will say that the rope, it continues on, and it looks like they're looking up into this horrifically smelling orcish tent of various bits of hide leather that has been just crudely wrapped together and stitched together to make a very big tea tent somewhere. You see it kind of closed up that goes out. You notice that there was a lot of hides placed on top of it with a bit of wood underneath it. And you notice that there's a big pile of hemp rope that just continues on. It's just sitting there.
Okay, so
Mr.
at this
Derek,
point,
please
what?
move.
As you notice, there's a waiting line behind you.
I'm working at the door.
Then
So
you hold the
what's
elf,
what's
please.
holding the door?
Okay, everyone that's on the rope, make another strength check, please.
At this point, I'm wrapping.
Athletics check as you're just kind of holding there for a good 5 minutes now.
At
Is it
this
still an
point,
advantage,
I'm
or-
wrapping my leg. At this point, I'm wrapping my leg around the rope to
Good thing.
brace myself for the 2 feet to actually
21.
hold on the rope.
I'm really happy for you guys.
Yes.
So, like, you're taking
I'm
the
really
weight
happy
of
for
it
you
behind
guys.
No. I'm telling what I'm doing with my body. I am wrapping one leg around the rope and then having the other foot against
What you can do
that
is
so
hold the
it
rope,
braces
make sure you don't
myself
fall
against the
shoulders.
rope.
Okay. Make an athletics check.
If I fall, I'm okay.
With advantage because you're on a rope.
We're not.
20 dice.
Andrew.
You'll be fine.
And
Hell, if you're what? Actually, I'm 8 foot. I could literally just walk a wall.
27.
27? Okay, easy enough. People are still waiting behind you. Strength, athletics checks with advantage. What happened?
19.
19, 21. You're
One.
hanging on in. So it would not have been advantage, but that's fine. You guys are
Okay,
not
the
on
island
the
was
horse
on-
I'm not
yet?
touching the rope.
No, there's too
I'm
much
just-
weight
I'm
already.
literally just holding the rope, waiting for it to stop moving.
Okay. Yeah, it's moving all over the place right now.
Once it stops moving, I'll think it's clear to go. And that's it.
Okay, yeah, you easily do that. You're stuck in place right now.
Okay, now with my. Okay, so I've got myself braced using my legs and feet on the rope, but I still need the one arm to steady myself on the rope, right?
Correct.
Okay, so with my free hand, I will. Which way do I understand the best way to move this over so we can get through it?
You already moved it over.
You just need to climb out.
You just
Yeah.
need to climb out now.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was impeding my further
No.
movement.
No,
Fix that.
it did, and then you moved it out of the way.
That was him
and then
going-
as you were moving out of the way, you noticed several other objects, which is why I explained it. You move this piece of wood that has been nailed together
Right.
with leathers on top that smell horrific.
Right.
You moved that out of the way,
Okay.
and you saw a leather tent, and you noticed that there's a pile of hemp rope that lead to the spike that has been wrapped around a few times so that it just sits there.
Okay. Do I see any other objects that might
At that
jab
point,
or hurt anybody coming through?
as far as you're aware, no.
Okay.
You're
so
gonna have to get out and hold to see more
that's
information.
exactly what I'm gonna do.
Okay, you get out.
I just roll out
Yeah.
onto
So
my feet.
You notice that this tent is actually pretty bloody big, and you notice heaps of various hides, lots of them, excessive amounts of them. You notice a couple of big leather sacks, chain, like some leather armor in the corner. It's more like a circle tent, so it's one of those that sticks in the center, and it has that pitch tent at the top.
Like
And
a
you
Europe.
came out at the back area.
Okay. Is there any light sources inside this area?
No, just the light that's coming through the shield, which is impeded somehow by the illusion. So no light's coming through.
But you can see it down there. It's just stuck.
By the same time, Stavros out now, right?
At this point, yes, you one by one you get out.
Okay. Yes.
Arms
I
sore as
lenses.
hell.
No, I will. Yeah. Okay.
It's a big rock.
At this point, do I see any light source coming from
It
an entrance?
weighs, yeah, it weighs like 25 pounds.
Thank you.
50 pounds now.
Thank you.
No, it weighs like
They
25.
weigh 25.
Wait. Do I
Yeah,
see?
it's right.
40, 55.
Do I see any light source coming from an opening from the tent?
Make a perception check.
Yay, I can get out.
19.
19. As you look, not touching the crack, but looking through the crack, and those that are up top, just make a general stealth check for me.
Got on up there. Don't do stealth. Nice.
And 18 for me,
22.
and only a 6 for Flan.
Wait. You rolled the wrong dice.
I'm just kidding, 18 for me.
Okay.
13.
As you listen and wait, you don't hear any sound and you don't see any movement or light on the other side of this semi-closed. It's not like zipped closed, it's just like, loosely.
The drums are still going?
Hang in there.
Okay.
You do hear the drums on the outside, yes.
Okay. So I will stealth out of the crowd.
I
Carefully peeking out first before I stealth.
try to grab him before he goes out.
Yeah, you definitely grab him before he goes out, as you didn't have much to do besides just get up.
We need our fighters. before we go any.
No.
These guys. They're not
It
up
looks
here yet.
like, well, you see the
feel the rope.
ceiling, you see the rope, and it kind of stopped moving.
I give it a tug. Do I feel any movement besides
There's
the
no.
normal weight that I feel on a rope for the inertia?
No.
Okay.
My turn.
You first. Give the rope a tug when you were at the top. I lift him up.
He's fucking heavy.
Don't
Are
cut
you
the
riding
rope.
it?
No.
You're a snapping turtle. Don't cut the rope.
Well, I mean, at least your shield still has light on it. You and I can figure our way
I'm
up.
using it like a bird's
I'm 8
beak
foot. I can make
as
it.
another
Well, you gotta
another
get up there first.
Appendage.
another appendage.
Because your
Like,
legs don't work that way.
Yeah, I don't really have my legs, so I've got my. I mean, I can't really use my legs, so.
No. Okay, make an athletic check then.
And he also has a peg leg, so that helps.
Yeah, so I'm pulling myself up with my arms and using my beak as a.
Wait, I have an idea. Would he be able to like walk his way up, sort of deal?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the same athletics check.
It's a guy
With
with
advantage
That's what I'm
because it's a
doing.
rope.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. With advantage?
Because it's a rope.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because it's designed to climb.
Oh, right. Cool. I rolled a 1 and a 17. So we're
Okay.
So as you
plus my strength. So with no saving throw, right? So just a strength throw plus 4.
No athletics check.
Or athletics.
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 Yes.
So athletics plus 6, so 23.
Okay. Okay. About halfway up, your hand slip for a half second as the rope seems to slide for a few inches as your jaw clenches a little too strongly, saving you from that natural 1 as you release.
Oh well, it was a. You were rolling
at
advantage.
I know, with advantage. But thanks to that advantage, you didn't snap the rope and just fall.
Okay.
Your advantage was your beak.
Yeah, sure. You definitely cut a few strands, but you continue forward as the rope extends a little bit and definitely takes the weight.
Well, my weight 1, 2,
Try to calculate.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's already taken the weight of 4 people at once, and my weight is less than them, so I should be fine.
All 4 of us combined
Would be more than me.
Yeah.
With my gear, I'm about 200.
You make it to the top.
So that's 700
I've been
pounds of us.
calculating, don't worry. This is just story.
That
If
is
you want, I'll make the rope snap. If you want more, it's just-
No, you don't need to do that.
That's okay. I have another
you
trend.
get to the top.
That's quite all right. I'm sure what's
No,
at the
no,
top.
no,
Alright.
We can walk our way up
climbing-
to the outside.
Climb up to
The
the.
odor hits your nostrils.
But you gotta get up there first.
Piss, shit,
Probably.
Those of
strong odor
us,
smells.
I
You
didn't-
know.
those of us who can see, help them out
There we go.
since it's pitch black.
Yes, it is pitch black.
Oh, I can't see.
So the one with
Yeah.
the shield that's still nice and bright.
As soon as I feel the rope is slack again, I will go.
And you
I'm waiting.
said she's on top of you?
She's on my shoulders.
Yep.
Okay. What's your weight again?
With my gear and everything's about 200.
So that's 700 pounds of Warforged.
Because I'm like 140, 150, and then.
Make an athletics check with
50,
advantage,
60.
please.
Are we going up?
You are.
Okay,
You
we're going
can make
up.
the roll.
Athletics check.
With advantage.
Thank you.
You can do it.
That's actually, I'm actually proficient in
Natural
that.
20.
I believe in you.
Not 20, so that makes it a 31.
31. No problem. As you go up.
It's a good thing I can't see, otherwise I'd call him a show off.
Doesn't snap.
Uh,
'Cause it's
Hazel,
Yeah.
you suddenly understand the daunting presence of the war that these guys were in on the opposite side. Even though it's you have it in between your legs, which is seeing one hand after another just
Are you wrapped? Which side are you wrapped on? Front or back?
seemingly unimpeded.
Because
side do you?
I'm hanging like this. So are you leaning back, or are you sitting on my chest, basically?
As it's
This is
a
a
10-foot
legitimate
wide.
question.
It's a
Yeah,
10-foot
no.
wide.
In my head, I was like piggyback riding, but I almost feel like if I was like,
Then you'd be hanging on my back.
yeah.
I don't know if that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
I feel
You
like
have to
chest
ride
is better
it.
in between like you and the rope.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Okay.
So in between.
Like koala-ing.
Okay,
That's
that's,
good. Okay, that's better.
That's so funny.
Just-
Wrapped around the
And it's
arms.
about perfect size too. Anyway, so getting up there, yeah, no problem. And that's like, as it goes, tink, tink. As you look up where your jaw
How
was,
high am
A few, you're about 20 feet after the area that
Okay.
we
I'm just not going to bother anymore. Contingency plan. I just go spread eagle, touch the walls.
Okay, make another athletics check as you just put your hands out.
Just. I feel the rope going, so just.
As your hand slacks as it just snaps.
I'm touching all hands.
Because unfortunately I rolled a
What just
10.
happened?
Athletics.
100.
What just happened?
I tell you the rope's now.
Okay, so that is going to be a 23.
23. As you slide 10 feet down, as rock just spill in between your fingers.
Swap another.
So
Walk the wall. Let's go. I'm glad you're on my chest.
there's more rope, right?
There is more rope.
And it's tied, right?
You don't see this as there's actually underneath it. There's another illusion that keeps it from you appearing in. You would have to put your.
So the
head
rope
back.
just was going. It was
You
tight.
heard this
and then-
noise, and you put your head into it. I presume,
Well, I'm trying to look down,
and you see another illusion.
but I would see the rope go or something.
The rope
It's under the
actually.
illusion.
There's a spike wrapped around it, and the spike is underneath the illusion.
So you can see the rope
So
going in there.
stick your I'll stick my head down.
Yeah, you would
Well,
see.
you hear that.
After the sound of, screaming of a small hazel, and then suddenly loud scraping noises of metal on rock, and rock giving way, and suddenly.
Just keep climbing,
there's also
just
a
keep
rope on the cat.
climbing.
Yes, at the top, and as you put your head through, you see the horrific sight of these four eyes just burying its way up, with a very freaked out hazel on
But
the chest.
it's tied. All this rope is tied to this thing, right? Even the extended rope.
Yes, that's where the anchor point was, and that's where the weight was being held.
I'm less concerned about them. I'm concerned about something else. I dropped the rest of the rope down there.
I'm not going to bother trying to grab it.
No, that's
I would
fine.
presume that you would wait until they get back up because it would hit him.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
And
That's a lot of weight.
it's like a 50-pound thing of rope.
yeah. But when they're done, I want to put the rope down and see how far it goes.
Okay, so you get to the top of the column.
I just stop like right before the illusion. And just have you stand.
There's still no light in there, so that's
I'm just kind of meerkatting.
Black hazel.
Come here.
We good?
Yeah, so you guys get up.
That's right, because you
Keep
can't
going.
see still.
Your nostrils are assailed by this horrific stench. And you drop the 50, it's like 75 pounds actually
Yeah.
of rope because it's very thick rope.
make sure it's tied before I do it.
Oh, so you're not untying it.
No.
No,
Okay.
I want it
So-
to stay tied.
He wants
Okay,
to go the
yeah.
other
Let's
way.
make
No
sure
problem.
it reaches the bottom for our exit.
If you haven't noticed, since I got in the cave, I'm planning our exit.
We have a contingency plan.
So
Getting in is not
a
enough.
half
We
second
need
goes
to
by,
get
and
out.
then suddenly you hear like a combination of various bits of rope hitting the floor.
That sounds good.
As it definitely hits the floor.
I would like to apologize.
And
I
I
did not mean for
pull.
that to happen.
We're
Thankfully,
good.
it's
Like
not
there's weight
on
on it and everything.
You got me.
Make a survival check
No, I'm good
to
at
see
that.
how well it's tied.
You got me up here. Thank you.
Safely.
21.
You say that would hold fairly well. I mean, it's not exactly the most healthiest rope as you squeeze it, and water just pours out of it.
It's not as good as the first rope.
No, it's
It's
the
the
same
same
rope.
It's
but
the other end of it.
It's the other end of it. It'll do.
It'll do. All right.
Yeah.
And if anything, I can
It's
carry my people down.
your kind. If you have any rope on you, it'll definitely not hold you, unless you do multiple
Well,
strands.
There's
So,
more
yeah.
climbing down.
So, Mr.
It's now bright red in the tent.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I can see now.
Now you can see. So I put the rope down. You should be the last one to go and do your thing.
For anyone else that needs help getting down, I can
The
assist.
reason why it
Down is
probably
easy.
broke was probably because
Safely
I
is
bit it.
Oh, I go now. I show you. I go.
All right. Do you
Let-
want
let
to
the rope
pull
go
up
up
the
its
rope
last
so we don't have the end of this rope hanging down invisible? There's already a pile of rope on the ground from the other part that's broke. Let's not leave a piece of rope hanging through an illusion. Pull up the rope.
Can you pull it up because it's heavy and nasty?
And that's
Easy enough.
How far?
Oh, all of it, all the way up and put it in a pile.
It's just so
Seems
we.
rather redundant,
so we-
but all right.
Just checking.
So after throwing the rope and then bringing it
pull
back
it up.
up,
Just throw it out.
Right. So
Pick it up more forward.
while they're doing that,
Pick up
I'm
that glass.
stealthing out of the crack
okay, make a stealth.
using if hopefully it's dark out there, but we'll see.
Well, right now the whole tent is
Right,
lit
of
up
course.
bright
right.
red.
So
anyone
I'm not.
outside
I'm going
always knows
to
we're
keep
You
it
can
as.
see the big red beacon as the thing opens.
I'll
Were we invited anyways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll use the two curtains to
We're not
so like
surprising.
blocks from any light from coming
you would
out.
notice right
And
away
if
the,
anything, we're
the
waiting
curtains
for
were fully closed.
Right.
So there's a beam of red light just out the tent.
Never mind. I'll wait.
So before we go out, let me do one thing. I take the end of the rope that he brings up. I press to digitate that dry, the end that would hit the ground, and see what happens to it. And then pull, have somebody strong pull it and see if that hurts it or helps it.
One more time, will you press
Press
attention
to
to
digitate dry.
The last foot.
The very
it
end.
dries it out from whatever liquid was on it.
Yeah.
Make a survival check to see your rope checking skills.
Can I be helping survival check?
Sure.
I'm gonna rip it. Or try
Make
to.
a strength check.
No.
The last
It's
foot.
just the last foot.
Make a strength
20.
check.
Essentially what he wanted to do
Disadvantage.
is see if it would be
Just
strong
straight
or
up.
dry.
Wait. Alright, strength check. That is going to be a 15.
15.
And I'm
13, sorry.
I rolled a 20 on the survival exam.
20. As Sparks checks it, you see bits of strands just explode from it. And it seems
It
to
likes the
hold,
water.
but it's definitely not a healthy rope.
That would explain
Is
why
it more
it's not
healthy dry or more healthy wet?
wet.
Wet.
Okay. I press to digitate it back wet.
It's probably why it was wet to begin with.
Okay.
Whatever liquid they used.
Okay. So now we
I
know.
just figured everything was
Wait.
fucking wet.
Does anybody in the party have 50 feet of rope?
Probably
Yeah,
Yeah, here.
No.
Yeah.
We'll use our own
Yeah.
rope. If that one's not any good.
I mean,
I'd
I don't
rather
have
not-
that thick of rope.
I would rather use something we
I-
know will hold our weight.
Actually, I have two things of 50
This
foot
one
rope
will
because
hold
it got broke in the river when we
I
tried
can
to
get
pull
down
something
myself.
out.
Okay.
This will hold your weight.
Instead of having one for 100, I have two 50s.
I can actually carry you down too.
So how far down is it from where we're at?
As for how much you climbed, it was 20 feet, roughly 20 feet to the illusionary at the original where you won, and then you climbed 30 feet up.
So 50 feet.
So this is a 50-foot
So
rope.
tie off one of the 50 feet of
Was there any ledge in the middle or anything like that?
And then
As we were climbing
let's
up?
It was just a straight crawled out
I used to have
section.
Now that we have light,
Yeah, I just wanna make sure we can get out there.
So now I have two 50
let's
feet.
Just to remind you,
Folks,
in
let's-
this
let's-
Orcus tent, you look around, and now that it's lit up, it's actually a two-pitch tent. So it has a fold in between, so that it's a more of an angular design, more advanced, and actually pretty sturdily made from some random bits of metal, tree, leather, lots of leather, and high bed. You notice that in three corners, or three piles, I should say, there's bits of leather, bent pieces of metal that have been just like torn and are like being dissected, and it looks like smaller pieces of swords that would be useless for orc and are in the process of being ripped apart to be reused in whatever way they believe. And you notice that there's a lot of high chain and various bits of armor in another pile over there. At the same time, a full thing of, or bits, not all sitting together and about to be processed, leather armor of some sort.
All right, so I would suggest we check out the piles to see if there's anything useful that we can use.
I would like to
I
survey
think-
our area to see what's outside this tent.
I can do that.
Be very careful.
It's my intention.
Let's not start digging around when we've got 50 rocks
Yeah.
sitting right outside.
And people to save.
But you never know. This could be the armor of some of the guards or whatever.
Agreed. Let's just take a look out the door. Or up.
Okay.
All right, wait.
Where do you want?
You
I
look
stick
up?
my head out.
Okay. As soon as you touch do you even touch it with your face? Do you touch it with your face? Okay. So you put your head out, and you notice that the tarp that was just kind of sitting there, as you put your head through.
I cancel the light.
Okay. You cancel the light, but that's not what catches your eye as you're canceling that light. As you see a thick piece of rope that was part of that tarp that goes up and higher. And you notice that there's a small thing, jar, a clay jar at the top. And as soon as you put your head out, it detaches from one of the holes, drops, and you hear shattering of clay as everything just fills with toxic gas.
I'm glad I don't breathe.
Green, gnarly, purple gas just fills the entire chamber, and you need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
I don't breathe.
Am
What
I
is it
able
with
to
me
like throw
indoors?
like the new cloak around my face real quick to
thank
try
God.
to like help at all? Or no?
I don't breathe.
This, for all intents and purposes, you still have to make a Constitution saving throw as you're not immune to toxins.
It seeps into your system.
Yeah.
But I am resistant poison, I believe.
Okay.
7 dice in jail.
Oh my god. Dice hate you.
Not good.
Every roll tonight has been bad for me.
Being poisoned. Is this a poison?
Well, he wants us to make a
It
Constitution.
is a poison.
Okay.
Are you resistant to poisons?
Yes, I am.
Then roll with advantage.
No, well, that wasn't much of a difference anyways, but okay. 24.
24.
Fuck you.
You take half damage.
10.
You take full damage.
18.
Half.
21.
Half.
21.
Half.
5.
Full.
7.
Full. So those that take full, you're going to take a total of 15 points of poison damage, and you are poisoned
No.
for whatever that means, because there's different variation of poison.
7 to the rest of us.
7 for the rest of you. Guys. Round down, actually. So yeah, 7.
7. 7 points.
A few moments pass as
I'm immune to poison.
you just.
Sorry.
As everyone's coughing and hacking, and unfortunately for Hazel, Derek, and Ed, used
Isn't that my
barf
game?
And
onto the floor.
I'm able to hold my breath. Is that? But no.
It does
this
not
is
make you any better
That's
with
right. Just like
poisons.
him. Just like
Yeah,
him.
just
All
like
right.
him. It forces into your body, and also it goes into your skin.
Yep.
It's like a magical poison.
Some sort, yeah. Definitely not normal in nature.
Plastic. Yeah.
Work it, poison.
7 dice.
So a few moments pass after you guys shake away, as multiple of you just barf your guts up immediately and just feel unwell. You see, for all intents and purposes, you don't know what it did to you. You don't have disadvantage on anything right now.
So,
I don't
just
like
for the
the
people who
format.
failed it, or
For
everybody?
people that failed,
Okay.
which is Hazel, Derek, Eck,
That was it.
and that was it.
Yep.
Surprisingly.
Elf power.
failed.
Oh. I went for the elf power.
Oh.
There you go.
Awkward, but
I
effective.
do it sheepishly because I feel really bad.
I do it also.
Alright, once I'm done puking, I'm rolling out.
Okay, you just burst through at that point.
I'm not staying in there.
Cool.
Yeah, it still lingers on your body as you sniff it. It just
I follow suit.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
going
well,
to-
now.
Oh, here we go.
as you exit. You notice that there's a big natural cave that has a bit of water, and it has a what looks to be a small river that goes into a small small pond. Off to the left side of the expanded cave area that has a combination of natural and dug out. Not too tall, like 15 feet tall.
Is it lit?
No, there is no source of light, but you find yourself, as you see, tents after tent after tent after tent,
We're
section
completely underground.
areas to like put up like section of the walls of bits of leather and various arming racks. Weaponry in the background where you guys came into.
So we're completely underground.
You're in the you're not underground. You're in the mountain thing. But
There's
you
none of
find
those.
yourself in some sort of orc living quarters. As you see,
Who the fuck
put
puts
out
that gas in those living quarters?
fireplaces that are ridiculously big for the rest of you, but his size in comparison. You see arming racks. You see tanning racks. You see what looks to be half-processed meats of fish, some weird dog-like fish combination thing that has been completely skinned and partly flayed, and also the giant 15-foot long catfish that is in a pole on a thick piece of what looks like a human spears that have been wrapped together and just stabbed through from tail to face. These pikes to maintain the weight. There's like 4 of them combined into one and placed over an unlit fire.
Someone's having catfish tonight.
This is fresh.
But as you guys take a look around, you don't see
first thing here.
any movement whatsoever.
Do we hear anything coming?
Make a perception check.
I'm doing it as well.
I can't see it.
Can I just try helping someone?
I can't see.
Can I just try helping someone?
26.
Or no?
Make a
18.
perception check. They already rolled.
14.
Okay.
18.
Listening around, you hear a
Modify
slight
20.
scuffles
I modified.
as it draws your eyes. I mean, for many of you, you're far too short in order to peer over these walls of barriers of various. What do you call these? Basically, it's just 4 pieces of wood and what they're
Partition.
Partition?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, they're just creating various walls to segment certain areas to make this cave more homey. Even though the smell is a lot better compared to what most of you had to deal with.
Still very accurate.
Yeah, but still it's just nasty. You hear footsteps and movement towards the entrance of the cave as you guys go around the corner where you can see the entrance, where you see the roaring thunder. As you hear the rhythmic drumming in the distance. You saw a split second of movement of various figures that just exit into the rain. But that's it.
Couldn't we have just gone
Perhaps the
through-
drumming and the noise of the rain drowned out the sound of the crashing.
I still can't see.
I can cast light again if you want me to.
Oh.
No, we
I
can,
can't see a
we
thing.
can see
Neither
the,
can I.
Yeah,
we can see the exit. We know where we're going.
it doesn't matter if you cast light now. You all just talk really loud in a cave.
I am not talking loud.
It's a no.
Plus, it's all the drumming and it's raining and thunder.
I'm already going on my way, by the way.
Yeah,
so
I follow him.
I'm kind of moving ahead a little
Well,
I can't see.
I'm
So-
like, we need
I
the
know. I
light.
see the exit. That's where I'm
I would
headed.
rather you guys be able to see.
I'm headed to the exit.
Okay, Blight's back on his shield.
Let there be light.
So, lighting up the area, just a general idea. This place can house maybe 20 orcs,
That's not too many.
but it is empty. And you doubt this is like the only one of its kind.
I'm moving it a little bit ahead of the group and going into stealth.
I'm not going to ask if you see anything of value because I guarantee
I want
you
to stealth
there's
as
nothing of
well.
value here.
Because it goes the half movement though, huh?
I'm glad there's no thieves on here.
So, going through the various meat piles and stuff like that, the weapon racks are full of what looks to be human weapons that have been reshapen and placed onto bits of metal staffs, rock staffs that have wood at the top so they could jam in bits of metal to make these crude, great axes that are ridiculously over proportioned, but for an orc it's like, muscles for days, so they can use that kind of shit.
Like
And these great axes, great hammers of just quite literally a rock on a stick, and spears that have been crudely put together into one giant spear so that they can use multiple spears at once so that their hands can fit better on them.
If it works, it works.
So do you see an exit?
Point where the rain is going.
You would see from pitch black from the cave to the outer entrance of the cave, that's maybe, it's more long at this point and it's more jagged than an even circle. It's about 10 feet to like the bottom part, which is only 5 feet tall to 15 feet wide. As you hear the drumming, as you hear, as you hear ringing of metal,
Right.
Like they're fighting each other.
metal hitting each other, as you hear grunts, powerful strikes, stomping of
We're
the feet,
close. We're close.
Do you want me to roll my stealth?
So
As I'm
as you hear the lightning crack.
Okay, let's go with your thing. Before we go out there, you know orcs.
Seeming to be picking
Gonna
up
be a
as the
fight,
rain
or
itself
do you want to talk to him?
pickups even heavier,
I would prefer to.
reminiscing from
He
the
knows
previous
orcs.
time of it happening again.
all right.
I would like to try and talk before we instigate a fight.
But he knows orcs.
I know.
What does he have to say?
If we find a right one, we can talk. but chances are we won't find the right one.
Clarification.
As far as I
What
know,
does
they
the
do
right-
not want
Like
to
the
talk.
chief?
If we find a chief, I don't think our odds are well that we're going to be able to talk.
With
But
my experience with the
I
orcs.
say that we could try, but be totally prepared not to succeed.
You're the only
Weapons
one-
drawn.
You're the only one here that speaks orc.
Not yet.
Yes, that will help.
My sword's out.
Well, does anyone else speak orc?
It'll be down.
Nope.
And I am not of a normal humanoid race, so I do have a better chance at speaking with them. But given where we're at, and we could be, if we're interrupting some tribal ritual, that's not going to be received well. But
At this
it
point,
would mean
I
that
think
we
it might
could-
be a good idea if we do interrupt it.
So wait, you were saying we were invited though?
He did say come up here.
We were invited. That is true.
About 9
But-
hours ago.
We're slow. He
It
didn't give
is-
us a map.
Fair.
we were invited. He knows we are around here.
Yeah.
The question is what is he inviting us for?
So don't fire first.
Don't fire first,
But be
be
prepared.
totally prepared.
That's why my sword is out.
I would prefer all other options be exhausted before a fight.
The moment
They are orcs.
Given they are orcs.
when one attacks, the rest will follow.
In my experience with
Wait.
orcs has shown that
Are you going to
they
tell
are a
us
violent
some
race.
sort of code word to tell us when a fight's coming, or
I do not believe
I
that is
think oh fuck
necessary.
works great.
Oh, what?
Oh fuck.
yeah, that works.
We're fucked. Pick any variation you want.
Fuck.
I'm good with that.
Fuck them up. I mean,
We're fucked is good.
Pick one. Just you complained because I fired first last time. I'm
That works.
deferring to your expertise.
While this conversation's going on, you hear
Right.
that buzzing again.
Do you want me to roll for stealth, by the way?
Someone's been watching.
Go and roll for stealth if they're trying to stealth.
I was.
He said he walked away a little bit and stealth.
Yeah, I've been,
Out of
I've
the light.
been saying for a
I
few
did
minutes
not
now.
do that.
I went.
apologize.
I went out towards the exit away from the group, and I'm trying to stealth so that no one.
Roll stealth.
Not great. 12.
12. You get about halfway, and your eyes catch. Even though a lot of the light is being diminished with a lot of the sections and areas and blocking off, it's clear as day that you guys are in there now. Red light again?
Mr. White.
Wait.
Okay, blinds everyone.
I
But
was going to
anyway,
do that no matter what.
They know we're here.
No.
you get about halfway and it distracts you, and you kind of step a little awkwardly because of it, as you see on various tents and pikes and wall mounts just jabbed in with that same ugly, twisted metal. Heads, helms, guard helms on each of the tents, almost like a telemark.
Oh no.
Bits of
Hey, so
strands of
we
hair
fucked?
kind of wrapped around the poles in such an area as,
That's the word we attack now?
Yeah.
No,
and you
he
see,
says it.
Oh, okay.
you guys don't know this yet,
Yeah.
and you hear the and it goes by your ear, like, you know how flies just go next to your ears, like super loud, and it just makes you
Yeah.
flinch. As you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, as they're just kind of flying around you, as you feel that same looming presence. None of it behind you, in front of you. As you peer into the
Somehow
darkness,
sketchier.
into a corner of one of these tents, one of the walls next to the tents. You just feel the comforting warmth from it that just beckons you as you begin to walk towards it.
Hey, where'd he go?
Yeah, I'll look around for him.
I mean, you only have to beat a 12. God.
I have to put my glasses on. I don't know if I
You
did
did.
12. Oh, by a long way. Yeah.
This was happening during the
right.
conversation as you guys were busy.
Okay, I'm still looking around for him.
Okay, so eventually you go,
Where's that
where's the others? We're missing one. You start to explore. You see these telemarks and bits of strands of hair. That quite literally, they take long strands of hair and they wrap it around, and they do the same thing with.
Oh,
the
jeez, we're gonna
telemarks.
lose the blue up again.
You don't find him.
We lost the blue elf again.
What?
You look around and you can't find him.
He went that way. Let's
As
go.
you find piles of like great swords and weapons that haven't been processed yet. You find leather armor. You find.
Do I see any swords?
Yeah, you do find swords. Just right off the bat, I'm just going to read what you find because they're plain as day. You find a great sword, a spear, bows, mace, great hammer,
If you wanted to change your fighting style.
a couple of daggers, but those look like they've been, picked so that they can be used for something else.
I don't see the sword I'm looking for.
No.
Okay.
Something that's expensive is
Right.
usually found in luxury items.
And
Yes.
usually taking first.
By the chieftain. Anyway.
And muscle-bound orcs are probably going to just use it as shrapnel.
What's this toothpick?
Davros, you went into the wall and found another hidden wall. And immediately to your left on a pike is a treated severed head. Not shrunk, but just looks like oil treated. Eyes closed up with needles.
Oh, that's creepy.
And the hair pulled back to the very tip of it,
That's not.
as part of the skin even gets pulled up from its scalp. Head slocked and slocked jaw and kind of shut inward. As you go through it, and you just, as the eyes open.
Oh,
Oh
I
no.
need you to make another wisdom saving throw.
That's icky.
And I need you to make 2 wisdom saving throws. One of them different. This one for the head.
That one's an 8,
Okay.
and the
And
next one's a
Davros.
16. This is where we lose the blue elf again.
your lucky sod for the second one.
Don't lose the blue elf.
Yeah. So the eyes open as you see the flies flow into it. And you feel just your soul almost leave your body from fright as you just kind of almost like spiritually grab onto it and shove it back into you. As you just back up 5 feet out of the wall, which is where the rest of the team sees you, as you just
You see, I like to think I completely fall backward through the wall.
yes, just
So they're just like, where's Davros?
There must be water over there.
What are you doing?
I found the freaky thing.
What? Okay. He said he found the freaky thing.
Was that a wisdom save?
I'm seeing fucking.
I should not go in there.
I'm seeing flies. I'm seeing heads. Ugh.
Yeah,
There's
it's
some-
an orc encampment. There's flies on all this stuff, and
And there's lots of heads.
yeah, heads. Look, they're pikes.
Does anyone recognize
Actually-
if any of them are dwarf heads?
We don't see any.
you don't see any flies.
Or the other.
No, I'm saying this would be a place where there would be flies because
But
But yet there are no
But we
flies
don't
because
see
they have
any.
been waterlogged so much that no flies were able
Only
to
he's
get
seen
to
the
us.
flies.
oh, well,
Please tell me that I do not recognize any of the heads.
he's
and
from
none of
the
them
water.
are
How does he
fish.
even know the
Make
flies
an
are
investigation
related?
check. As you inspect
I don't like that
each
smile
severed
there.
head.
I'm just kind of grazing over the if I see anything that's remotely familiar.
I was also checking for that.
What is the freaky thing?
Investigation?
No, I just saw there's a head.
Do you want me to roll
I saw
investigation
shut-
as
Well,
well?
hold on.
Well, I saw
Yes.
a bunch of flies go into the eyes, and the eyes open and look like that. I don't know what that is. Through the thick wall.
12.
12.
The wall.
Most of them are
uh,
soldiers.
fake.
You don't see any civilians here.
Illusion. Good.
Illusion. Did it say anything?
I fell back through the wall. If it said something, I was not listening because I fell
But
through the wall.
did it try to hurt you?
I was also
I
checking
don't know.
to
It
make
scared
sure
the shit
that
out of me.
some of who we're looking for is not
I-
one of these
Oh,
pikes.
yeah.
As far as you can tell,
well,
same thing. It looks like a soldier. So looking over at the severed heads, the trophies, and the strips of hair and very bits of untreated heads on a pike, literally. Each one seems to be holding some sort of armor piece, either leather, heavy, plate, chain, or a weapon that's been used to hold up the person. Make an investigation check, and you can make a survival check.
So don't do that one.
It's a nat 20.
And you said, damn it!
I didn't have my glasses on, damn it.
I was gonna say that's not a 0.
You're not accustomed to orc tribal life. Okay. you can see a story, a pattern. There are no civilians here, as civilian kills doesn't seem to have any weight or importance on it. And you see groupings of these trophies of each tent, worthy tent. And you can definitely tell this one's of higher rank than this one, this one's higher rank than this one. As you see more luxurious tents and more items in that area, and more heads. Or more like placements of where heads would be, like a tally mark, like how many kills have you had. And which each head has its own story of how it died and what it fought with. Which is very personalized on each kill they at least recognized.
Okay.
So these flies.
And I try.
No, you
Almost like it's a mark of honor that their head has been placed.
I impart my knowledge to the group that if you look for these kind of things here, that says that this is more of a higher ranking orc.
And where
with
you
their
came out
kills.
of was probably some like captain like orc
The
figure.
one he came out
The,
of?
the
Where
head,
you all came out of.
the
That explains
head,
why he
Yeah,
had
came out of-
most.
He
the-
came out of just a random bit of wall that was off to the side of it.
It wasn't
In
a,
between one of the in between two tents.
it wasn't a, okay, so it's not like whatever scared the shit out of you was in the chieftain's tent or something.
No.
so I
The chieftain's
encourage.
tent is definitely not here.
Right. There is no chieftain's tent here. However,
Oh,
I'm
and there's still
curious.
leather armor in the corner since you got a natural 20.
Studded leather.
Some studded leather in the corner. Is it wearable? Is it in good shape?
Not for you.
No, not. But I wouldn't want to wear it anyway.
Senor, is that studded leather you say?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Just checking the studs.
There are studs?
There are studs.
And now you are a stud.
Rock, paper, scissors, fork.
Ooh.
No, don't play that game with him.
I just kind of rock paper.
Yeah, he's got a rock.
It's
Rock always wins.
Next time that I go in water, I would like to swim and not sink.
I can help with that.
he's asking for
Actually, we have 3 people that
She
wear
has the
leather,
cloak.
so.
I don't have the quote.
She has the cloak.
I grabbed it. He said that it helped you breathe underwater. I don't give a shit, so I gave it to her. She was closest to me.
Ah,
She was standing next to me and she was already the fastest one, so I was
You'll
like,
find
hey,
something in the chicken stands.
you can rock, paper, scissors or
we're not. It'll look.
scissor.
It will look nicer on her anyway. Why is your accent rubbing off on me?
I do not
You know, you
If
spend
want-
enough
if you
time
want-
with someone.
Senor, if you want to rock, paper, scissors her, or where I come from, coral, seaweed, coral, seaweed, obsidian,
Crab.
coral, seaweed, crab, you do whatever you want. Thank you, Chris.
I love it.
Coral seaweed squid. But what about coral seaweed squid?
Crab. Not squid, crab.
Yeah.
It's
Crab?
coral, seaweed,
It's
crab,
serious.
and
It's
then
twist on
Octopus
the-
whale.
when you're a kid,
But then
sometimes
there's octopus
when you're a
whale.
kid,
I'm
sometimes
walking.
you play a joke
Okay,
where
where are you walking?
you do the 3.
All right.
Towards the
Instead,
exit.
you
Towards
go
the exit.
octopus, and you do that, and then one of your friends comes up and hits them in the face with an ink sac.
There you go. Works for me.
You get to
Back
the
tails him with a
front
pen.
of the cave, and it is hailing. Sorry, not hailing, but it's just pouring like no one's business. You cannot see more than 10 feet as the water just, as you see the water
light doesn't
pouring
come.
in, and it's going, causing a maybe 3-foot river to go down to the pond in the back area, as it's a slight ramp to it.
Are we going to worry about the secret?
Has some sort of,
Thing that he
other
came
this
out of?
place would be flooded by then, has some sort of
He told me not to go.
drainage somewhere.
I want to go see that head. It.
I gestured to the illusory wall, just
These others' heads tell a story.
Go ahead.
That one may tell a story.
Tell him I
I'm gonna
fucking
stand
said
out
hello.
here
Wait.
I am
and wait
standing.
for him.
It scared you, it moved, it did stuff?
Yes, that's what I saw.
Give me a rope. You're the rope. Just in
I
case.
have no rope.
Tie it around your something and
Okay, what do you want me to cast light on?
I've already left. I'm at the edge of mouth of the cave.
Very good.
Where?
you
No.
hold it.
What do you want me to cast
don't
light
have
on
to go to
instead?
the
Wrapping the
cave.
total,
Fine,
wrapping
please.
it with rope.
We
Is
can
that
stand
what
just
happened?
like outside
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
We're just
5
trying
feet from the
to,
edge
just
of
in
the
case
cave.
something happens, you know the code word.
You can pull me back.
Pull the
Which
rope
is,
if you want it
sh-
pulled out.
Oh shit! No.
We're fucked.
We're
You're
fucked.
fucked.
You're fucked. It's
Say the
Not
word.
the code word.
Any variation of
Oh shit! Still not the code word.
just moving forward. This only works This code work only works until we're at a tavern and we go upstairs, and then it's null and void.
Wow. Okay. Next thing you know, you have Warforged running through the wall. That was the code word.
Actually, fuck me.
Are you in
would work
trouble?
better in that
Yeah.
sentence.
I think.
Okay, so we're
I
getting.
think when we're in taverns and upstairs, we should use ink sac as our other code word for bad stuff.
I like that.
Never get confused.
Okay,
We
good.
don't know what they're
If
We don't know what they're into.
If you hear bumping in a separate room
watching the
and
doorway.
someone says the phrase "Oh fuck," this is not an emergency. I do not
Make a
need
perception
help.
check at disadvantage.
But if they say ink sac,
But if I say ink sac, there is nothing fun going on.
Why?
18.
and there you have it.
Okay, we got too much
It's a
stuff
nat 20
going
and
on.
an 18.
It's good.
Trust me, you do not have an
Okay,
ink
so
sac.
as you guys are getting that prepared and getting that
Mom doesn't
all
like to
dealt
say the other
with,
word.
Sparks,
That's fair.
I'm about 5 feet from the entrance.
nothing more than a half a second as you're watching the corners, looking past and looking at the ridge. It looks like this entire cave is slightly indented. It has a couple of shelves that are covering it, making it a little easier for it to hide. And if you don't know where it is, nearly impossible to find.
Oh no.
Okay, that explains why we didn't see it from the outside.
Yes. And you also, for split seconds, see movement. Ever so faintly in the dark of big orcish figures that as soon as they see you and they see that you see them, they
Because I have a big beacon of lights.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't even have to roll to see if you're okay.
I guess you
You
know,
know, kind of deal. You notice 2, 3, 4 orcs make contact with you and just disappear.
they're afraid of you.
Yeah, but well, we killed everyone. If we came across at least.
You don't get fear from them.
Here's
You get organized.
Kill the war boss?
You put your head through the barrier. It's
Wait.
dark.
Yeah. What do you want me to cast light on so you can see
Your
him?
flies fail.
Your staff?
No, I don't have a staff. I have a great sword.
Your helmet?
I'm not wearing a helmet.
As you look over this very
Your peg
plain-
leg?
you notice that his
There you
entire
go.
Yes.
Okay, look. This is what you see with
Do it.
Eck. You see bits of cloth wrapped around it along with the tattered banner of some sort of orc symbol, which you'll describe when you're ready, on his right leg, almost like a half, not toga, like half.
it's really more of a torn piece of banner type cloth
Yeah.
that is actually
Oh, wait a minute.
tucked
I cast
into a
light on his
belt.
foot and the
Okay.
light
Is really all it is.
But his entire tortoise shell is rather very
Just in the
robust, almost like resembling a snapping turtle. And you notice that there's like
Yeah, but he needs
ripped
to
out
see what it's-
sections
when he's
of it at
going
the
in.
very top of it.
So get the shield
Including
and
several
turn it
areas that
over.
have holes,
Then he'll have a shield.
very
So you can only do it
just
at a
time.
large
Only
holes out of the shell
Mhm.
in different places.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
So did you cast it on his or mine?
So what are you casting light on?
Because you only have
Actually, I
one.
can't. I
At this
can't.
point, light would just fall out. Because it would be an hour now.
Okay, so you can cast it anywhere. So I would
Well, as
just,
soon as you cast it again, it goes on to you.
That's what I mean. I can
Anyways.
only cast it on one thing at a time.
Okay.
So
I'm standing
you
at the
need
mouth
it.
of the cave, and I'm waiting for anything. I'm holding an action to hit anything that comes through that is not human.
Oh, shit.
Understood?
Or orc. Not human or, like,
Dwarf
anything
or-
that's orc.
Okay.
Got it.
Any
Alright.
orcish.
Any orc, just to cover a blanket.
Anything that's hostile.
Yes.
You
Or direwolf.
Do you need me to?
Anything hostile.
Is it okay to transfer the light then?
Yes, I'm holding an action.
Okay. So I cast light on his peg leg.
Yeah, you cast light on his peg leg, which you were tied around the waist with the rope, which who was holding?
No, it wasn't so me.
It was him.
All right.
Flat's helping.
So you two?
Because
Me and Flat.
I'm at the mouth of the
Okay,
cave.
got it. So going in, taking your peg leg in, checking in, you found that using a survival check that I asked for you to do, getting 12, you noticed that there was it was treated on the outside so that you couldn't tell, but you guys have been stepping on the loose rock on the other side, and there's actually soil still in here. But it's been treated on the other side, and on the inside, you notice that there's drag marks and blood that goes through this windy, upper windy, untreated cavern. That's could be natural, could be unnatural, but either way, it is definitely not refined as it just goes up into the darkness, even with your. But you can only see maybe.
Looks like something was dragged up there.
Yeah, as far as you can tell. But the severed head that he was that Davros was speaking of is not there.
Davros, you are a liar. Does anyone hear me? Hello?
Do we hear him?
Good. Davros, you're a liar. I don't see a head.
Call me confused, call me charmed or something, but I'm not a liar.
There is a tunnel here that kind of goes up and away, and it looks like something was dragged up through it.
Perhaps we should
So
go this
I
way.
Continue to go forward.
No, hold, let everybody join you, but I want to check something before you do that. There's a lot of magic going on here. Like,
Yes,
there's a lot of illusions.
And
It's a lot of magic for orcs.
the leader
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was attacking us was using magic,
was using lightning magic.
but they were
constantly.
still using magic.
It's a lot of magic for orcs.
That's like saying you're using a sword and he's using a rock. It's still a weapon. Can I do an arcane check on the illusion?
What are you trying to?
I'm trying to determine whether this is like orc magic, if this is
Okay.
something different.
I'm gonna say, Ek, roll survival with your Arcana because this, with your previous natural 20 on Orcish, this is really advanced even for orc tradition.
Unfortunately.
I don't get any bonus on Arcana.
Even for anyone's.
So you're rolling
capabilities.
survival.
Oh, wait,
And then
So I rolled a 10, but I don't have any bonus on Arcana. Because I just...
Survival.
survival.
Oh, okay, so 12.
12. With,
Okay.
and
And I rolled a 10, so I don't know.
10.
It just doesn't seem like.
It doesn't seem right. And it seems, even for normal
I'm
capabilities
wondering
of
if we're
casting,
dealing with an orc
is
shaman.
still a feat to behold to make it permanent in some way or form.
Yeah, no. Doing magic, very simply, I create a box in my hand. It goes away. To create magic that continues to be here is very powerful. And it doesn't seem like it's very finesse. Illusions are finesse. Orcs magic is usually boom.
Agreed.
which makes sense that it'd be like
I mean, when we were back when we were fighting at the tap, there was I killed an orc.
The cooked goose.
Back at the cooked
Or
goose.
the warm goose.
So the warm goose.
Yes, the warm
That's
goose.
what it was.
We were the goose.
Back at whatever the name of that tavern was.
she gets drunk a lot.
Sorry, I'm
So the loose goose.
do not attack my
And that's the
character.
third
worse.
death of Davros.
Your character has done nothing.
Protect the blue elf. He keeps trying to die.
Anyway,
I killed an orc. I know I did. It went down, and then I saw a lady outside who brought him back to life, and then he almost killed me.
Right, but that's
Work.
That's like when the dwarf cast whatever spell he cast that healed you all. That's not a permanent. I'm just saying, we may be dealing with something other than the orcs here.
I agree, because this whole place is magical. We are seeing ruins, and of course, lightning doesn't stay in one place for hours while we had that massive battle before we came up here.
And should
There are
attack
other forces at play here.
Okay.
and should strike the tallest
I
metal
just
thing
want to make sure
around.
everybody was aware that there may be something more than orcs going on here. We may be walking into the middle of a battle between the orcs and something else, or the orcs could be just doing this to a god. I don't know, but
They're more than likely trying to steal its power, and perhaps that entity is probably wanting us to stop it.
Perhaps.
well, that could be a thing.
That's an excellent
That would
speculation.
be a good side to be on.
Yeah, I mean, if it's helping us, because
We don't know.
How'd you find all this stuff? How did you find it?
I don't know. I heard buzzing. I did not choose to walk into that room. My body was taken.
Well,
into
we
that
are
room.
also given we're given another opportunity now. We have
Something
a chance
might-
to go through this cave or go out the mouth of the cave, where I have seen orcs hiding from my sight.
Davros.
Whisper time! Whisper time! Whisper time!
Whispers.
But you
Secret.
Peas and carrots, peas and carrots.
You deal with orcs.
Secret.
That's what you're saying, right? You're wearing an orc banner, right?
You know,
I've dealt with orcs.
As have I.
Not because I've chosen to hunt them.
No.
It is that I have been unfortunate enough to confront them.
He said I'm gonna die.
But does all the other magic that we keep running into,
I mean,
the blue
very
magic,
specifically,
seem logical
again.
Which way?
for orcs?
I'm going to ask the DM here. The question to me, to Ek, is whether or not he considers this magic to be unusual for orcs.
It is definitely unusual for
I
orcs.
would agree with that, yeah.
It,
I was pretty sure, but I wanted
yeah,
Yes,
even
it
with
is
the
very
12
unusual.
and going higher to the natural 20, but that's not what you were looking at during that time. Yeah, this is... Illusionary magic is deceptive.
Yeah.
Orcs are not deceptive. They will tell you what the fuck you are, and then they will punch you in the face and say, marry me.
My sort of people.
If you're a female orc.
Yeah, that's
but,
how you get half orcs.
Yep.
well, actually, no, that's great.
Skull that went away is temporary magic.
Could be, yes.
Right.
But
It could
the
be a-
walls are permanent magic.
There's something else here.
So
I would also say-
like that bottle I dropped on us. It was the trap.
Trap. That's orc.
That
So-
was orc.
That's the dangerous way to go.
However,
Both ways are dangerous.
I just want to say that the fact that it's dealing with darkness and flies, it's probably not good.
Hey!
Excellent observation.
Doesn't sound
You
particularly
don't
warm and
necessarily
fuzzy.
Right.
Flies? But
No, okay, I can get the fly thing. Okay, I get that. But darkness is not always bad. The only
can be
reason we
warm.
fear darkness is because you stub your toe
It's the
in the darkness. And it's like, oh,
I
darkness
mean,
bad.
I don't
So-
think you'd really do that
No,
much.
never. Not
but-
you.
So,
Darkness itself, the
Okay,
fear
so-
comes from the fear of the unknown.
I think whatever's been leading us has given us good information so far.
so
I see.
We go up.
Fuck it!
disappearing flyhead way.
I'm still saying
Disappearing flyhead.
Okay.
it still tried to take him over, so that can't be good.
Could have only been trying to talk to him. It didn't do anything dangerous to him. He's the one that fell backward.
The way he described
Yeah.
it does not bode well for its trying
What was
to communicate.
What was your impression?
I don't know.
Do you have any lingering impression of the entity?
Also, I want to check on to those who were poisoned. How are you
There was
feeling?
flies, and
Not
then suddenly I
great.
needed to go in that room.
Yeah.
Other than hacking up my
I didn't know
lunch?
there was a room there.
No
I just
problem.
needed to go there.
Yeah, and really, if it didn't like him, it could have him go through something and fall 100 feet or something and kill him.
I am wondering if this does this mountain. I'd like to roll a survival or a check. Can I check? Does this mountain caverns and so forth appear to be natural, or if it was?
Rolling nature.
Because
Can
I'm
I
wondering
help
if
with
this
that?
is a god that created
Or
this
you can roll
space.
for- are
Is
you,
the same god
proficient in
that does
nature?
the storm,
You can definitely roll
and
on
that
yourself
these
if you want to.
illusions
I
might be
think you're
part
better
of
for
that god's magic, and that it has nothing to do with the orcs. That it's been here all along from that person.
That ceiling
Rocks.
that we went through is
You're not
definitely
used to
not
rocks.
natural.
So
quick
I'm rolling.
question.
You're still spooked from the
nature?
situation. It was very unnerving.
Yeah.
Is anyone
Nice.
good with like?
Natural
Medicine?
20.
As you
Right there.
look around the rock formation and gain a little more sense of its surrounding, a lot of it is natural. At least it became natural through the waterworks of it just being constantly poured with water. But scratching it with your claws, for what it looks like natural rock that has been charred black with hundreds of millions of thousands of lightning strikes. That definitely ain't natural. Whatever this mound is, whatever this storm is, it has some sort of connection, either religious or arcane means, to these pile of rocks that, in all sense, should have eroded away long ago.
These orcs did not. These orcs are populating this place. They are not. They did not make this.
But
they
you
are,
know,
they
for-
are abusing it. Is
Yeah,
what they're doing.
it's definitely some sort of religious area.
Alright, well, good god or bad god?
Can I roll?
You would know this. We already went over this.
Yeah,
This was a
hyphen.
neutral god, which can be viewed as good and bad depending on the situation.
No, I know, but he's saying flies and darkness bad.
Oh, that?
Good god, bad god. We don't want the orcs to have any of that power. So
Correct.
On that, we can agree.
Let's go up.
Up the
I
stairs.
don't. I am not. I'm not against having a rope tied to me if I am leading.
yeah, that's a good plan.
My leg is
I
lit.
have the
Is that
leg.
going to be a problem?
You already have a rope tied, do
You
you?
have the light.
Just give it to the robot.
Perhaps I should leave.
The guy.
Can you see in the dark?
I cannot. But you can be behind me.
Okay, so I
And
can
then
transfer
put it
the
on
light back to a
This
shield.
person.
Oh, you can do that.
Of course.
Yeah, simply. It's a cantrip, it's not.
Real quick, can anybody like look me over real quick? I'm not feeling super great from that poison gas or whatever it
Good
was.
question. Are you all right? You two were poisoned as well.
I know.
Make a
Medicine.
Medicine.
medicine / survival check. if you're checking yourself.
I hacked up
I
my
will-
lunch, which I do
I
not
can
like
help
to
him with
do.
survival
I'm
check.
good at
Of course, I'm not feeling
It was
good.
such a good sandwich.
Sure.
I know.
It's
better going down than coming back up.
outside, it's
I know.
medicine. If you're checking the inside, I would say it was survival, but it's a medicine check if you're outside.
I will help. I am good at medicine.
God help us.
Am I rolling an advantage?
I'm not proficient in medicine, but I can help with survival.
I can try.
That's right.
No, you are not helping. If
That's
it's,
right, you-
if
you-
you're not
you brought
in-
him back.
If it's medicine,
did.
yes. If it's survival, no.
This would be medicine.
Can I
at this
aid him?
point,
I
but-
brought back Davrosk. I can help you.
Yeah, you can roll a medicine check or a survival check.
No,
He's
can I
asking
just
if
aid
you
him
can
and help him?
If you're doing medicine checks, yes. Survival checks is more checking yourself
Right, I'm just.
because you know your body better than.
Nope.
You definitely don't feel
Can I roll?
I'll look at it.
when you're like checking your muscles and stuff like that, feeling the blood circulation through your actual form. It feels like
You weren't
resistant,
poisoned.
ever so slightly.
You weren't
Like you
poisoned.
feel almost like you feel like an illness inside of you, like you're half sick and you know it.
Okay, so
That's
that's
what
nothing good.
That's
So,
what you three feel.
I look her over externally with medicine,
Okay.
and I get an 18.
18. Looking over Hazel and looking at the eyes, you notice that she's clammy. She's a little paler than even for an elf. She's pale for a human, and even for elf standards, it's pretty pale. You're not quite sure what it is, but it's definitely some sort of lingering illness.
Right.
You don't. It's most likely not permanent. It's not a disease, but it's some sort of poison that has entered your
Yeah,
system.
you got a bad case of the ick. It'll wear off eventually.
Isn't that name of your brother?
No, that was more of an
I
eh
am
sound.
Ek.
He's Ek. His brother is
Ga.
Ga. Ga. That's right. Ga. Ek. Maybe it's your sister.
Okay.
I said Ek.
Anyhow,
Okay,
so
so
we're gonna go up the thing.
Whatever
who's first?
Because that's what it made us
And then I am behind.
It's
Big
going to
mouth.
be half movement because as you start to go through it, you have to get on your hands and knees and go at an angle to go through because you're a very wide fellow and very tall.
And how tall? How big is this?
This is about 5 feet tall and about 3 feet wide.
Oh, I'm on my hands
I'm
and
walking
knees.
fine.
I'm walking on hands and knees, and I'm like crawling through this
Yeah. You get there.
because I'm 8 foot by like 5 feet.
Yeah.
8 foot by 5 foot shoulders.
You're not gonna get stuck, are you?
I hope I won't.
I'll go third.
I will push you.
You're not 8 feet tall. You're 7 something
It's
tall.
like 7, 8 or something.
Yeah,
I'll go for
you're
it.
ridiculous. You're big as an orc essentially, and this is not an orc.
I was
passage.
designed to fight orcs.
Okay, well that's a good thing.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
5,
6.
6,
I'll pick up the rear.
7.
Yeah,
Okay.
you will.
So
3. If we hear you yell, we'll know there's a problem.
going through the passage.
I'll yell the code word.
5, 6, 7.
Yes.
Forget the code word.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
Davros in the back.
I'm in the back.
No, no.
Davros in the back.
Understood.
Like that.
Good. There you go. Okay.
Here,
Forget the super code word.
Sparks, are you doing anything while you're going through this passage?
I'm holding an action to attack anything hostile.
Okay. So essentially just
I'm
punching.
examining the scratches since I'm climbing up through it really close as I'm
Okay.
going through.
But that's after he has passed it.
Correct.
Can I perception check, make sure no one's behind us that we're not noticing?
Certainly. Roll a perception check.
Wait, can I go up
Sparks?
actually in between the brothers? Because you both can see and I.
As you start crawling,
There's light in here.
Yeah, but it's way up there.
So
as you start crawling, 10, 20, as you start to turn and go up and down, left, up again. Very crazy,
I'm glad I do not get claustrophobic.
yes. Or tired at this
I'm-
point. Because doing the same repetition, this would be daunting, even for a normal, very strong person, but you do not suffer exhaustion, so it's just repetitive. You can get claustrophobic, so all in the mind. Just keep that in
I'm
mind.
glad I do not get claustrophobic.
About 100 feet in,
Having Warforged having a panic attack is not a
I
good
need
thing.
you to make a Constitution saving throw. As you get about halfway, and you notice some sort of like black glowing on your chest, and you look down, and you see a harsh, rigid symbol carved into like the wall, as it just glows a black light on you.
Oh, great.
Traps.
maybe.
Why didn't we have a rogue in the front.
What can I
checking
do?
for
Magical
traps.
effect?
Why are the two people in the very back the
It would be
rogues?
counted as a magical effect. Yeah.
What is happening?
You don't have
You
that's
can
your
see in
other
the dark.
character.
That's
It's a
right.
straight up concept.
Why didn't you?
I should have been.
Wait. Okay, the short's right.
Live and learn.
That is going to be a
You can see in the
23.
dark though, right?
2-3. I'm
2-3?
keeping an eye on them. 23.
23. So you take half damage. 14, 16 half. So that's going to be 8 points of necrotic damage as a swarm of flies just engulf your area.
You got your flies.
Yes, there's flies.
As hundreds of
Great.
thousands of flies just go into your body and
Well, let's
just
not missing them.
leave a sickening illness to your bones. But you push past it and you can't really move, so you're just holding strong on your inner strength, your inner spirit. And as the flies seem to hit the wall and burrow into the wall, the loud buzzing sound fades.
That definitely looks evil to me.
I continue forward.
Already going this way.
I don't see any of these at all, right?
Well, I mean, he's first, and he's taking up the entire area, so
Right.
you see his ass. Everything after his ass, you can see.
But do I see any flies? I've never saw. I didn't
You see it and you hear it.
Make a
obviously.
perception check.
It depends. Were they blocked by
make a
his
perception
ass?
check.
Right. I'm saying, the question is did I see anything or not?
Yeah.
And that's
No, you did not see it. You saw the flies. You saw
Oh.
the flies. You saw the flies just engulf him. It looks like it was, he shook a few bit, but after a few seconds go by, it was done.
Are you all right?
I continue forward.
All right.
He's just crying at the front. Anyway.
He's not telling us, so okay. That did
Oh,
not look good.
he just keeps saying, I continue forward.
He keeps looking and keeps on ticking.
You notice that there's
Is that a phrase?
after about 75 feet, it opens up and you do not see any flies. You see the symbol on the wall,
Okay,
and
they stand
the
there.
other symbol identical on the opposite side of the wall.
There's magic symbols here.
As it kind of pulsates and then goes back down and pulsates again.
Can we all see it? Or?
Yes, you can see it, but you're
Okay.
in a line right now.
What is this?
17.
Well,
17?
we haven't passed.
You don't
the
know
big-
exactly what it is, but you get the sense that it's done for about 30 seconds.
Religion?
It's done for about 30 seconds before it reactivates.
So we have to repass it.
Yes. So
Religion?
Do you have any idea what it was?
No, this is a more.
it's the
uncommon
get the
thing.
past here in 30 seconds.
Yeah. So all it is, shoo, as soon as you find that out,
Must be the.
it opens up into a much bigger, bigger area for you, so that you can actually sit up.
Stop to crawl around.
You're still on your knees, but you're not like on sideways.
So
anymore.
it's like 6 feet.
As the path continues for maybe another 20 feet, as you see a room that has been dug out or something like that from this natural area. No light, and the air is very stale and sulfuric, maybe. Yeah. As you see another pathway go diagonally, that branches off. If you look back from where you came, it looks like a Y section, and you came from this direction. So it's another one that goes off into the darkness.
Let's check the
Very
room.
similar to what you just did, but it's slightly bigger.
Let's
Is
check the
there
room.
fresh air coming
Don't
from
read
it?
anything.
Make a survival check.
Or
You're in a cave.
that's right. I'm in a very dark cave.
Damn sure.
Well,
What
we
are you
have
trying to figure
light.
out?
We have light.
There's fresh air coming from one.
The peg leg is still very bright.
Yes.
I will check.
The light's
fresh
still
air.
working.
Nope.
You're in a cave. You don't like
A
caves.
very
Cave.
dark
As you
cave.
hear the dripping,
Dark doesn't bother.
as you hear dripping in, from
am I not
one of the
surprised?
caverns, you hear bloop,
Proficient in perception.
of some sort of boiling liquid from that room.
We have
20
light.
feet down. I know, but you only see like a section of the room. You don't see the room. It's like looking through a door.
Where's the light again?
It's on his peg leg. Do you want me to transfer it to your shield?
That would be useful.
You mind?
No.
I'm
Let's
going
transfer it over to his shield.
Oh, I thought you said shoe.
No, shield.
I'm
The
going to,
big shield.
I'm going to shine it into the room.
Okay. I mean, it's lit up just like last time. You see at this current angle, I would say You see some from the 20 feet distance and from the angle that you are at, as it goes down a tiny bit, you see a fire like in the corner of the left side, still burning, but not producing a lot of light as far as you can tell as you take your shield and move it around. And it seems to be like dark black fire. And you see some sort of stone bench, but you can't see the top of the bench. Or some sort of table. That's been made, carved out from the actual walls around it.
This cannot be good.
Just kind of keeps sounding more and more evil.
This is different for orcs.
This is not.
Orcs that are using.
We all enter into the room.
Do you
You
detect
do
any more
notice,
magic?
and your passive perception would allow you this. And it's plain as day. You see layers upon layers of drag marks, bloody drag marks that just lead towards.
I'm going to follow those.
I want to examine the blood on the floor. Do I think it looks and tastes like orc blood?
Like perception check.
I
Survival
know-
check.
and
This
I
one
Can
know-
I can I help with that survival?
I would
You wanna lick
yeah.
some blood on the floor?
Who's
I'm not
rolling?
gonna
Do you want to roll
lick it.
individually, or do you want to roll with one advantage?
I'm following the blood marks.
Okay, this is happening as they're
Make sure we're doing the same thing.
I'm not fucking licking it.
I'd say we should
I
help
will,
with the roll
and
at
I-
advantage.
make separate checks.
I have tasted orc blood before.
No.
I'll help you with the advantage on survival.
And for that, I
I'll
feel
stick
sorry
with
for you.
I'm sticking
Is
with.
that alright? Advantage on survival?
You're proficient in survival. right?
Yes, I am.
I would say yes.
Alright.
I'm
Mine's
sticking
just
with my new
15.
best friend.
You're not very keeping it with blood. I mean, yeah, blood, because a lot of times when you fight, the ocean just takes it away. So you get into your gills, and that's how you taste it. You're not used to having it on the floor.
17.
17.
Ocean sounds gross.
Okay, it is a feat alone to just serve different types of blood, and orc blood is very thick by nature, and it comes out very quickly because they have a lot of pressure in their veins because of how much muscle they have and what their poor heart has to be beat with. Yeah, they're definitely taking.
You're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, you're not quite sure. It's as you touch the floor and bring it up, it's definitely damp, fresh. You're not quite sure how fresh it is. It's definitely clotted, but it's not fully dry. And as you bring it up, it's hard to tell. It's definitely dark and crimson.
Does it remind me of orc blood?
I mean, orc blood and humanoid blood is very similar. The only thing is that the initial
Release?
thickness, consistency of how the blood feels is different. But when it solidifies, I mean, it's pretty similar.
It would be nice if this was orc blood, because then that means that, but I don't know if it is. It's humanoid blood.
As you hear, as this single-minded spark just charges down the corner, as you see.
Hazel and Barry are gonna follow him.
Yep.
Okay,
What?
as you guys just go down toward the corridor, ready for anything, automatically gain bad vibes. As Davros, you feel, as you just feel your heart quicken.
No thanks.
I don't know.
I
I
would
don't
like for
know.
that not to happen.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's hard to get nerves down.
I look at you and I go, I'm really trying to be right
You see
here and
a-
help you out. And see?
Yes.
How would you say
You have-
it's a cave that
you
was
have
intentionally
turned over a
carved
leaf,
out,
so-
but it doesn't look like it was carved out. It looks like it was just moved out of the way. As you see a stone slab table that's still connected to the floor, with various shelves that are connected to the walls. There's a very long and slightly curved room. As to your left, you see a giant cauldron filled with a black sappy liquid that is constantly being burnt by black fire and thick wood underneath. As you see the slab of various different ingredients, as you see on either side of the slab that connects to the cave, skulls of humanoids, like 3 of them on each side, that just have a thick crimson looking dried liquid that goes into a long bowl one of those long bowls that go through the entire tablet.
Trough.
Trough, yes, it would be a better word, of a dark, sappy liquid. As you see, with each bowl that's recessed into the table, has some sort of ingredients of the various spices. Hold on, let me read up.
Well, that looks bad.
You see carefully separated bits
So
of
you're
human
sure it's
hair,
not evil?
limbs, and ears. Sorry, lips and ears. A nasty pool of a recessed area that you can hear liquid coming from it, but there has some sort of like stone slab on top of it that has a slight hole where you can pull it up quickly. Bits of moss, purple and green, where all of it leads to the center, where you see what looks with strange, harsh, but organized symbols. Definitely not Nordic, but very rigid in nature, but refined, that lead to each one of these holes, but most of them, where the most detail, go to the singular center bowl. That's only not a bowl, but just recessed ever so slightly, where solidified, dark, hardened sap of some sort seems to be encoded around something that used to be there and used to be square, but has been ripped out. As your eyes look up to a rotting hand with its pinky and thumb pulled back and broken.
You know, the more words you say, the more.
The more I just want to leave.
At that point, we're going to take a long break, everyone. I do apologize for all the technology issues, and we're going to take a back to it shortly and see
Don't
what's
worry,
going on.
I'll perform my magic that I can do.
Yeah, hey.
And I'll just cut it. I'll basically splice it.
Yeah, at that
And
point.
that's not editing. It's just more of just to break off where the camera's died.
Yeah, and as soon as this episode is done, we're going to figure out what the bleep is going on and
Yeah.
hit it, nip it in the bud. So anyway, we will see you on part 2 of this episode.
Cliffhangers.
See you in a moment.
Whoop whoop.
That's fucking gross.
Cliffhangers in my fucking face.
I know. Hey.
This cannot be good.
It's quite
It reminds
much
me of
like
the
a reaching
Left 4 Dead
hand
symbol.
that has its. It looks like it's pinky and
Left 4 Dead
thumb.
symbol.